Cardinal Schwarber to become the first Cardinal ever to take down the Derby crown. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. Construction is causing slowdowns in the Metro East again today. 5570 East is heavy from Illinois 203 to Black Lane, and 5570 West is slow from 255 to Black Lane. This traffic report is brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday for a free showing of the Disney classic Cars, face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. The first 75 people to bring an unwrapped toy for families in need get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free Family Movie Night this Friday, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and from the Traffic Center, I'm Paul Kopsky.
90 degrees and sunshine right now. We'll have a clear night with a low of 73. Tomorrow, a little warmer, a high of 92, and overnight low of 74. Currently, it is 90 degrees. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News.
Looking for a smarter, safer way to invest? For a limited time, lock in a great rate with Together Credit Union's 11-month CD special. From day one, your return on investment is guaranteed. No market swings, no surprises, just a competitive fixed rate that steadily grows your deposit. Make your money work harder with a financial partner that puts you first. Visit a Together Credit Union branch near you or go online to togethercu.org to learn more. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Let's face it, most people are not thinking about planning a funeral, but planning ahead can bring you significant savings by locking in today's prices. Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens in Fairview Heights is part of Dignity Memorial. They've been an essential part of the community for generations and believe a funeral service or cremation memorial should be as unique as the person it honors. Receive low-interest options on prepaid cremation property and burial plans, and up to 10% off cemetery property and funeral plans. Experience the dignity difference. Call Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens at 618-233-7200 to schedule a pre-planning appointment. Online at dignitymemorial.com.
Anne Marie here for my friends at Black Fox Cooper. Many homeowners live with old, drafty windows for years, thinking they can put it off until later. But once they replace them with new Andersen windows, they can't believe the difference. Their homes are quieter, more comfortable, and more energy efficient, and the curb appeal is dramatically improved. Black Fox Cooper helps homeowners understand their options and select the right Andersen windows for their home and budget. Do it today, not tomorrow. Call 314-270-1484. Online at blackfoxcooper.com. Black Fox Cooper, your local Andersen certified contractor.
Hey, St. Louis, temperatures are rising, and if your AC isn't blowing cold enough, trust the experts at AAA Home Services. For 56 years, they've been fixing it right the first time. Our expert technicians are qualified to work on any system with any issue. We can even perform your annual maintenance on your air conditioner before it gets too hot. And if you need an estimate on a new system, we can do that too. For 56 years, St. Louis has trusted AAA for heating and cooling, electrical, plumbing, and appliance repair needs. Call 636-397-3200. Online at AAASTL.com. Call AAA. We're on our way.
What have we learned about Heidi?
But cockroaches were the least of her problems. Heidi had to fight for every opportunity.
You know, Heidi is, even though she's very kind of sweet and innocent.
Heidi wanted out of the slum, and her agent wasn't doing enough.
Oh my God, they moved Heidi right next to me now.
Although Heidi seems serene,
she's a bit naughty.
she uses an ancient folk remedy to help calm her down.
Heidi is back.
Well, hello and happy Tuesday, everybody. Heidi Glaus here with Josh Gilbert, Bob Ramsey, and we have got a lot to get to this afternoon. First up, we're going to check in with News Nation's White House correspondent, Libby Dean. President Trump is set to speak to the nation on Thursday night. What is he speaking about? Are we talking about Iran? Are we talking about gas prices? Are we talking just in general? Here's the kind of state of where we are. We'll see what Libby knows about that. We'll also check in with ABC's former special agent in charge, Rich Frankel. And I don't know that we talk about it enough, but the Supreme Court justices want a little more money for security. There have been a lot of threats, and I don't even know what kind of security they have right now. Like,
I never gave it any thought.
No.
Right?
And I just probably assumed that they had a full detail all the time because it's such a big job and so many people get angered by their decisions. So we'll talk to Rich about that. And the 4 o'clock, Eric Seamers with the St. Louis Business Journal will cover a couple of the stories that are making headlines, including Mayor Spencer signing the Rams money bill. And then Governor Kehoe also signed legislation that will help downtown. So we'll get all of those stories coming up. We'll also talk to Alex Stone about a new airline upsell, buying the middle seat. What? I mean, would you ever choose the middle seat? To me, that would be a cheaper
I
option.
We talked to Alex, I think last year. These were the words that came out of Alex's mouth. Airlines have said that customers are looking for more ways to spend money.
Not me.
When they travel. And my question, as always, and including on this story, is who are these people? Because I don't know any of them.
I agree.
Yeah, that's crazy. So we'll get that story. And then in the 5 o'clock, we'll talk to Chris Hansen, who is the executive director at the Kranzberg Arts Foundation. And this weekend is Music at the Intersection. Now, they now call it Maddie, but we'll go through the list of who's performing, but it is so much more than music. It's kind of these conferences and learning opportunities, and part of it is free to everyone. Then there's other things you have to buy a ticket for, but Chris will sort all of it out. It's really become a big deal. I think this is the 6th one.
Which intersection?
Grand. It's all in the Grand Center Arts.
Oh, yeah, right.
And
right.
so it's really cool. And then we got to talk sports with Brendan Wiese. How about Jordan Walker?
How fun.
And I have a sheet here that we'll get to of, some of the things maybe you didn't realize. No Cardinal has ever done it.
Right.
Which is pretty amazing when you consider Albert Pujols and Mark McGwire.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that. We've got some entertainment news, and then we'll wrap this show up.
So I didn't watch this. Finn had a baseball game, and then we went out to dinner
Home Run Derby
last
at
night.
the game?
How did Finn do? I didn't even know we were playing. Is it T-ball?
It's
Still
T-ball.
T-ball, yeah.
Yeah, it's T-ball.
He launched one? He did, didn't he?
No, he got an RBI and a couple of runs.
That's great.
Best we can hope for.
And how about his infield, outfield?
I was still learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
That's
telling
what it's
Bob.
for.
He's on first,
Okay.
and the ball gets hit to third, and he'll run across the field.
They all do.
It's like herd ball with soccer.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Those are the good times.
I want to talk about the home run derby, but I did hear this last night at the game. Generally, we play all of our games on Saturday mornings, but we've had so many rainouts that they're
yeah.
the season's supposed to be over, but they're trying to squeeze these in wherever they can. We got another one on Thursday. We've had a whole season, 2 months of baseball, and I heard last night as they were taking the field, one of the kids say, now which one's first base? I thought, I thought we were making progress.
I'm going to say, though, it's a day that's a little different for us and our family because those memories, they're some of the best memories, and they go so quickly. Yep. My niece left for college today to join her college soccer team, and I was talking to my mom, and she's like, how does this already happen? My sister, kind of the same thing. But, I mean, it feels like just yesterday that I was helping coach her little T-ball game, the Ladybugs.
Did you coach?
Yeah, with my sister, we helped a little bit. But, when they were out there in this grassy field and you had to put a sticker on the foot that they were going to step with and just trying so patiently get them to throw the ball.
Last night, there was a kid picking up daisies out in the eye. I will not say if it was mine or not. Another kid face down in the dirt for whatever reason. just drawing in the dirt. Yes. And it's just so cute. And what I would say to you is hold on to it because it is just, this morning we were all just going, how is this already happening?
I miss coaching so much. Coached all 3 kids in various sports. I really, really miss it.
Well, you just have a different connection with every one of those kids when you're coaching them because they'll talk to you a little differently than they'll talk to their parent, or you just have a different kind of relationship.
And I go up and I hand him his helmet, and he said, Dad, get out of the dugout.
Yeah,
right.
This is my space.
He's right about that, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Parents, stay out of the dugout.
Yep.
I know. Well, I was just trying
That's
to
a fine.
I was trying to stay out of the sun last night.
Well,
my
bring
gosh.
an umbrella.
I forgot my hat.
Stay out of the dugout.
Yeah,
okay.
That's a big one.
But last night I owed Jordan Walker an apology. We were at a restaurant.
You bet against him.
No, they didn't. They didn't have the home run derby on because it was on Netflix.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
At the restaurant, and out of spite alone, out of pure spite for the fact that they're streaming this on Netflix and not on regular ESPN or even, heck, it's the summer, right? Throw it up on ABC or something.
Except, as we talked yesterday a little bit, on Netflix, they don't have any time restraints. And so they were able to go back to the old school ways, which when I was reading The Athletic this morning, they said it was absolutely leaps and bounds better entertainment than it has been in the past.
And we don't need The Athletic to tell us that. We were entertained.
Yes, it was great stuff.
Barry Bonds said it was the most exciting home run derby he's ever seen.
The most exciting thing about Barry Bonds is head's back at normal size.
Is it?
Yeah.
Has he stopped juicing?
Yes.
I got to see this.
Oh, goodness. So, it is National Mac and Cheese Day.
Oh, doctor.
And I don't know what happened. It was not something that I would eat very often.
Because it was just out of the Kraft box when we were kids.
Yeah, and I love
which is fine.
The Kraft box.
Yeah, Jen still makes it sometimes.
But when my appendix burst and I was finally out of the hospital, I wasn't sure what I could really eat. And I wanted something that wasn't too creamy and rich, and I wanted something that I, didn't think would upset my stomach. So we went to Applebee's in Birmingham, Alabama.
Sure.
And on the kids menu, Kraft mac and cheese.
Oh, the real deal.
Kraft, the box.
Yeah.
And
it was good, wasn't it?
It was absolutely delicious. And since then, I probably have it once a week. I don't know if it's like I associate it with, healing. I don't know. But it's delicious.
We go, Jen and I go, I guess, channel our inner child because the staple she doesn't do it, a couple times a month maybe, Sloppy Joe's and Kraft mac and cheese. That's like when you're 12 again.
It's comfort food.
Yeah.
And, we can talk a lot about them, but let me ask you this. When you make mac and cheese, and I already admitted that I typically go with the box.
Yeah.
Now, I'll make noodles in a different way, but if I'm going mac and cheese, it's usually Kraft mac and cheese. But if you're going to make your own, what kind of noodle? Are you going with a macaroni noodle? Are you going to go with a spiral? Are you going to do maybe a bow tie?
Okay, so we have been a shells and cheese family.
Oh,
for
you can get a lot of cheese in that shell.
15 years. We've gone the Velveeta route.
Yeah.
And then...
Ooh, Velveeta.
I mean, we bought this box, though, of, you throw it in the microwave, you heat it up, Kraft mac and cheese on the go. We bought it for Finn. Because, I'm over at my friend's house, and his son is eating this.
Yep.
That's good.
Finn doesn't like it. So then I'm like, well, I'm not going to let good mac and cheese go to waste.
No, you've got to eat it.
And I ate this thing the first time I'd had it in 15 years. And wow, like Heidi said, really brings you back.
Mm-hmm.
Really brings you back.
Mm-hmm.
But we've made buffalo mac and cheese before.
Oh.
And we've done...
How does that work? What do you put?
Crock pot.
Oh.
Shredded chicken, buffalo sauce. I think we used Cyberg sauce. We used a fun, tight spiral.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called.
I would go with the traditional macaroni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then when it comes to cheese, are you a white cheese? Are you a cheddar cheese? Do you go crazy and put like a Gouda or a Havarti, or you stick with a fairly basic cheese?
I bet Jen would go with Gouda if we were making it that way. And by the way, she just said we do the Kraft, but with the spirals.
Okay, see?
Oh, Kraft spirals.
Yeah.
So I looked this up, cavatappi. We'll have to get Frank in here for the correct pronunciation. But
I don't think we can say that.
It's a big, thick spiral noodle.
Yeah.
And that's what we used in our homemade mac and cheese.
Very good.
I like the bow tie myself if I'm going to just make it.
I like a good bow tie.
Yeah, you know what? Because you can stick it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What kind of cheese is the powder? Obviously, when I use the Velveeta and shells.
I think it's cheddar.
Cheddar-like.
Cheddar-esque.
Mm-hmm. I think it's cheddar flavored.
Can they call it cheese?
Well, it does say dairy on the box.
I mean,
because you have to
Velveeta,
have the
yeah.
warnings
Yeah.
there. They said cavatelli.
Cavatelli?
Uh-huh.
I think that's a different noodle.
My daughter makes homemade mac and cheese and uses shells.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so then if you're making it, do you put any other spices? You talked about buffalo. I usually do a little cracked pepper.
That's what I do, Heidi.
You
Same
do?
thing.
Yeah, just a couple, but
yeah.
I don't really add anything else to it.
No, I think we do that to pretend we're not kids. We're adults. I'm going to put some cracked
A
pepper
little bit
on
of
there.
pepper on there.
And now it's what is that Italian dish that everybody's crazy about? Cacio e pepe.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what's happening here?
It's just basically a cheese kind of egg noodle.
I don't even know if there's a cream sauce in there, but it's a very light white.
It depends. You can have it heavy.
And then,
but it's not a
bunch of cracked
fettuccine
pepper.
sauce. It's just it's delicious.
I got to find out about this.
CBS Sunday Morning did a whole piece on it. I'll send it to you.
Okay, yeah.
I think there's two.
I'll tell you something else that's delicious while we're on that subject. If you go to Beauwood by Niche, they do an eggs a pepe. And it's the exact same thing, but it's like a fluffy kind of.
All right. Are you guys still in the Stone Age with the pepper shaker, or do you guys have the big grinder?
Yeah.
Got to go grinder.
I've noticed that you loosen the top on it a little bit and, pull the top a little, and it gets you bigger.
Yeah, you can adjust that thing.
Yeah. To be less, I want it to be more coarse, less fine. I want a
chunk.
maybe a half of a whole peppercorn coming out of that thing.
I'm with you.
Yes.
I want to chew it.
Yes.
A little bit. Somebody said I was going to make my grandchildren shells and cheese. I accidentally bought the big shells. They each had a shell with cheese, which is, I bet it was still good. Our friend Susan said my mom made a fantastic mac and cheese. Now my son-in-law makes one equally as delicious. No more boxes for us.
Good.
And somebody else said I love Kraft mac and cheese. I also make gourmet mac too, but one of the easiest and really good is any noodle with a jar of white queso. Sprinkle a little cheddar on it too.
White queso.
Okay.
So
mac and cheese.
When you go out for mac and cheese, they can do so many good things with it.
So many.
Whatever they want to put up, panko or whatever, the little
breadcrumbs.
crust on the top, and then give me a little something.
What if you put a little lobster mac and cheese?
I was just going there. Great minds think alike. Little lobster mac and cheese, a little crust on top. I'm in heaven.
Yep.
Let me ask you guys something. And I know we've devolved into the food show right here. But when did mac and cheese get on the fine dining menu? I mean, I feel like in the 80s and 90s and maybe the first 10 years of the 2000s, that would be, completely mac and cheese.
When smart restaurateurs realize, give them what they want.
And
put lobster in it and triple the price.
Yeah.
So true. I mean, when they did a survey and 2/3 of people voted to keep it without any meat.
Yeah.
But then if they go with the number one top meat, pork, which I'm not a big pork fan, but that was
like barbecue pulled pork would be good.
Now, also bacon.
Little bits of bacon is really
could
good.
be good.
Okay, yeah.
Chicken was the second most, but I'm with you. I'm going lobster or crab in mine. Anyway, I just thought if it's National Mac and Cheese Day.
Well, we got to talk about it.
So everybody's got an opinion about mac and cheese. Somebody said, have you had Salt and Smoke's cracked mac? I don't know that I have.
Explain it. Explain the cracked mac.
Now on the menu coming up, though. Sounds awesome.
Velveeta shells and cheese topped with homemade chili. Grated Mexican cheese. Oh, yeah. An incredible winter meal.
I got to try that.
You know what we generally do is when we do hot dogs, we throw on some Bush's maple baked beans.
Oh.
And we do the shells and cheese. And then by the end of the meal, they're both in a pile on the plate.
But you don't put it on a bun, or is that like the base?
No, that's the side. So I've got baked beans and mac and cheese, and you know what? So they just start to blend into together.
Yeah, and it's
just kind of a...
Well,
your plate's a melting pot.
Yeah.
If I'm going to make a little mac and cheese for dinner or lunch, I've brought several times, and I need a protein on it, which, by the way, they now make a Kraft mac and cheese with added protein.
No.
Yeah. It doesn't taste exactly the same. It's a little chewier, but I'll put a bag of herb and garlic tuna on top of it, and like a tuna melt.
Mm-hmm. It's like a casserole.
Now
we're making casseroles here.
Well, I mean, isn't that what you do when you put chicken or anything else in it?
Sure.
Barbecue pulled pork with mac and cheese, extra cheese, please. I think I might have that tonight.
Yeah. As a kid, one of our go-to meals, pork chops with macaroni and cheese. Do they make mac and cheese overseas if you travel? Are you going to get that anywhere? You've been to Italy. Do they do a mac and cheese, or is it something fancier?
I bet they've got something on the menu.
Similar?
Maybe they don't call it mac and cheese.
They call it something a little fancier.
Yeah,
probably.
They call it cacio e pepe.
And that's one of the great things about traveling is you really get to immerse yourself in different cultures, and it is about the food, and it's the colors and the way that maybe they see a city. It's so cool, and that's what Altair Travel and Cruises offers you, is they offer you an opportunity to see places that maybe you never even thought of. I often go to altairtravel.com just to look at some of the featured destinations, and I kid you not, almost once a week I see something I'm like, I didn't even know that was a place. I have family that just got back from Croatia, and the pictures were absolutely stunning. That's one of the hot places now. I mean, Italy is definitely on my list. And this weekend when I was with my mom and dad, they're like, do you think we're ever going to go to Alaska? And I said, let's just call Altair Travel and Cruises and plan a family Alaskan trip. And so that's what we're going to do. If you have that trip that you've always wanted to take but didn't know where to start, call Altair Travel at 314-968-9600. They're going to make everything so easy, and they can even save you a little money because they know the best time of year to go or when to book those flights, and they'll do all of that for you. altairtravel.com. It is 3:29. Captain Paul is back in the KTRS Traffic Center. How's traffic looking?
Heidi, 55 South is congested between Route M in Barnhart and Route Z in Peevely. Construction is causing slowdowns in the Metro East again. 5570 East is heavy from Illinois 203 to 111 where it starts to thin out. And 5570 West is slow from 255 to Black Lane. This traffic report is brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday for a free showing of the Disney classic Cars. Face painting, concessions, a stage show, then the movie. The first 75 people to bring an unwrapped toy for families in need get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free Family Movie Night this Friday, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Mom, what do you always say? There's There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer.
That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newstetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
Yeah, they're on the med, and these medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain. I don't have the...
Because once you start losing weight, all these other things naturally happen to you in a positive way. Not just talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at STLMedWeightLoss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. And what's beautiful about it too, hey, I get it. The economy, what we just had, guys, things are difficult right now, but we make the plan work for you. We have financing options. We make this work for you because we realize how important it is to get down in your weight, get your confidence back, and really start feeling like the old you.
Call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
President Trump is set to address the nation on Thursday. White House correspondent for News Nation, Libby Dean, joins us with a bit of a preview. Do we have any idea what's on the agenda?
On Thursday, yes, we do. I've been speaking with sources here at the White House and in the Trump administration, and what I've learned is this is going to be about newly declassified intelligence that the administration believes shows a foreign government tried to influence the 2020 election by exploiting voting machine vulnerabilities. President Trump alluded to as much in the Oval Office today when he was asked about this. For the last 2 days, he said that it was going to be like any of his other speeches. But today, it seemed that he revealed it is going to focus in on elections. He says he's going to discuss other things too. Likely, the Save America Act is what I would believe would be top of mind for him.
And does he have reliable sources that the 2020 election was rigged, or this is just outside sources from different countries?
Well, we've seen this in and out of the courts time and time again, and the president has lost those battles. But the sources that I've spoken to is that this is new declassified intelligence about a whistleblower complaint that was offered up about China's influence in the election, and that is about as far as the source would go. As far as the credibility about it, we don't really know until we have the information.
And so do we think there'll be a mention of Lindsey Graham and his passing?
There is a chance of it. He has mentioned it throughout the last few days in the Oval Office. I would say the reason he would likely talk about that is his effort to get the Save America Act across the finish line, because losing Lindsey Graham, a very vital ally in the Senate on that, could make this even more of an uphill battle than it already was.
Right.
Yeah. And where is this address going to take place? Because it's not a State of the Union per se.
That is a great question that the White House hasn't answered yet, considering they're not even confirming the actual contents of the address at this point. There's the potential that's taking place in the Cross Hall. That's where his last address took place. And actually, I was looking back at the history of his last address. That happened all the way back in April. It was about Iran. That was the last formal address to the nation that we got. But, I mean, this is going to be at prime time. So what we do know is at least the timing of it is going to be at 9 at night. And the possibility of the Cross Hall, we'll see if it's in the Oval Office. That's another option as well.
Hey, Libby, as a White House correspondent, how much stuff gets thrown about in your circles that is stuff that you say, well, that's on the record or that's off the record? How much? And do people say, hey, this is on the record or this is off the record? Or could you use just about anything if someone says it in the hallways?
Oh, no. The majority of things, I would say it's 60-40, 60 off the record, 40 on the record. But the way I work around that is making sure the sourcing is solid, but not mentioning names or administration officials. But I would say there is a good portion that is off the record, at least up until a point. I mean, there's reporting like this about the possibility of these remarks on Thursday that is off the record until a certain point that the White House and some within the administration feel more comfortable talking about it because it's more set in stone. That's low stakes, I would say, where there, of course, is more intel that we've gotten that we do hold off on.
Okay, speaking of intel, and I know this isn't the story you're covering today, but what is the word there about Mitch McConnell?
Look, I mean, this is a story I've been following closely, even though I'm not a Capitol Hill correspondent. I think it's very interesting. There's been a lot of accusations made, but the president doesn't seem to be in the know about it. The last time he was actually asked about it, if I'm remembering correctly, was on Air Force One a while back. And he said he hadn't spoken to him, despite all those Republican senators saying they had spoken to him for 20 minutes. You'll remember those posts that went viral and everyone talking about that.
Because I saw a report today that possibly that picture, and it's so hard to tell what is real and what is not, but that picture that was kind of a proof of life was an old photograph.
I haven't seen that confirmed, but just because I'm not on that story today, I haven't really looked into it. But I think that is something that is worth asking the president about, given that would be his intelligence community who could look into it, I guess.
Well, he's got the newspaper from the 14th? No, today's the 14th. He's got the paper from the 12th, and then the Washington Post kind of went through it with an expert, and they say, well, I mean, it seems pretty up and up. But somebody on the text line is jumping in here, and I have the same question, and maybe we'll find out more about it on Thursday. But if a foreign government rigged the 2020 election, why didn't they rig the 2024 election as well?
That's a question that I do not have the answer to.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So maybe
I'm going to be as blunt as possible. I could be diplomatic in this, but I just don't have the answer to that.
Yeah. Well, Libby, we do appreciate you joining us and keeping us in the know when it comes to what's going to happen Thursday when President Trump addresses the nation.
I am happy to. We're about to. Tom Homan's walking down to the cameras right now on the North Lawn. So we'll see if we get an update from him on those recent ICE arrests and deaths that we've seen, those ICE-involved shootings.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Libby.
Thanks, y'all. Bye.
And those stories, I just read today that the pressing of quotas, it's been very quiet for 4 months, 5 months? When were those shootings the last time? In Minnesota, yeah. It's been fairly quiet. What has changed?
Right.
Or if anything. So I'd love to find out if they were pushing quotas again. And if something's going to happen now. What did Mark Wayne Mullins said at the top of the hour news? ABC reported it that they would start. I don't want to speak out of turn, but they're pulling back from just the cruising around the streets and trying to pull people over. But it seemed very quiet. So what has changed?
Pretty systematic
recently
until now.
Yeah.
Since 1974, Permajack of St. Louis has been helping residential and commercial owners protect their biggest investment. From successfully solving foundation structural problems to making sure basements remain dry, Permajack has performed tens of thousands of projects on both sides of the river, utilizing state-of-the-art technology, techniques, and equipment. Permajack of St. Louis has done it with honesty and integrity, never recommending anything outside of what you really need. For many repairs, Permajack provides a transferable life of structure warranty, all while Permajack of St. Louis has earned a BBB A+ rating and accreditation for foundation settlement, bowed or buckling walls, cracks in your foundation, walls or bricks, or basement waterproofing. Choose the hometown family-owned team at Permajack of St. Louis. Schedule your free inspection and estimate at permajackofstlewis.com. That's permajackofstlewis.com. Permajack. Solid as rock.
This July, we celebrate our nation's 250 years of independence and the anniversary of the One Big Beautiful Bill. As a small business owner, you understand the freedom and independence that comes from owning your own business. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisor Group and the author of the 2 #1 best-selling books on taxes, Keep What's Yours and Keeping What's Yours. We're celebrating 50 years helping small businesses maintain their independence by minimizing their financial risk to their business, reducing their tax liability, and growing their wealth with strategic tax planning. If you're relying on investment advice from someone who isn't familiar with strategic tax planning and you feel like you might be paying more than your fair share in taxes, give us a call. 636-394-5524. That's 636-394-5524 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG Properties.com.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, I've avoided the topic because, quite honestly, it's kind of disgusting, but I'm talking about the stomach issue going around. It's this microscopic parasite that infects the small intestine, and people can become infected after consuming food or water contaminated with feces. But here's what I wanted to share is how to clean produce. And they say you got to just start with basic food safety. And they say washing your hands with soap and water after using the bathroom, before handling food. Alcohol-based hand sanitizer does not kill this parasite.
Really? That's interesting.
Soap and water do. So the FDA recommends washing for at least 20 seconds before preparing fresh produce.
Do you ever put soap on your produce?
I have before.
I have never washed anything food-wise with soap. Well,
that could be.
Well, now, I mean, if I just run water over it, am I really even doing anything?
Well, okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of thoughts on this from the experts. So wash cutting boards and countertops with soap and hot water. Use separate cutting boards for fresh produce, raw meat, poultry, seafood.
Makes
Do not
sense.
use the same one.
Right.
Most importantly, always wash your produce before peeling it, cutting it, or eating it. Even when the rind or skin will not be eaten, the knife or the peeler can carry the contamination from the outside to the edible part. So wash it at that point. So here's a couple of tips for washing different types of produce. If you're doing any kind of leafy, whether it's an herb, or separate the leaves on herbs like cilantro and basil. Don't wash them in a big group, which I will say I'm guilty of. I kind of just throw it under there and rinse it all. But each one. Cut off the roots from green onions, then remove the outer layer and rub the surface while running them under water with your hand. Instead of using pre-mixed or bagged salad, buy a head of lettuce.
Yes.
Remove the outer leaves.
Really?
Yes.
They say washed 3 times on those bags.
And you believe everything you read.
I do.
Scrub the outside of melons before chopping them. I would say if I was going to cut a cantaloupe, I would never.
You wouldn't think to do that.
No, but this is
the
saying,
knife can just carry it right
Guys,
into the fruit.
How do you wash a pineapple? Ouch.
Ooh, so true.
Carefully.
Peel your fruits and vegetables whenever possible. Wash produce in vinegar. Vinegar doesn't kill the parasite, but research shows it can help remove it. And this doctor also recommends submerging produce in a bowl filled with 3 parts water, 1 part vinegar, switching it around for a few minutes, using a salad spinner to rinse the water can help get rid of the vinegary taste. Do you guys have a salad spinner? I know we have one.
I do not. And this is the thing. It's like, well, now you put vinegar on top of this. How am I going to get the vinegar off?
Well,
I put soap on my lettuce. Now I got to wash all the soap
But this is what
off.
they're saying. 3 parts water, 1 part vinegar. That's going to be not very
Frankly,
much.
I'll probably be putting vinegar on it anyway.
Right, exactly. And then they say cook produce to an internal temperature of 158 degrees or higher to make sure that you kill this parasite.
I don't want to be a panic guy. I'm not going to do any of that.
Okay.
I'm going to do what we do.
You're going to let Jen do it?
I've had the no. You see right through me.
Uh-huh.
No, I had a parasite. I don't know if it's the same one, but similar from Mexico. It's pretty miserable, but then it eventually goes away.
You hope.
Well,
it did once.
Yeah. It might not the second time.
Dr. Johar is going to join us tomorrow for our every other weekly segment with Dr. Johar, and he's going to talk about just this. Is it cyclospora?
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right? I
think you did.
If I heard that correctly?
They're also saying some tools for food safety, like the OXO, the Good Grips vegetable brush. Like if you can do that with
vegetable brush.
So you can your potatoes, your carrots, any of the firm produce. They've got nylon bristles, and so it reaches even the uneven surfaces.
But then I get microplastics.
This is true. You're going one way or another, I guess. So anyway, just a couple of tips if you're concerned about it.
Did you see that Taco Bell took like 5 menu items
Off yes, I
for
did.
the time being? I wonder which 5 items they are. And are we looking at lettuce?
I bet it has something to do with produce.
Don't you bet?
Yeah.
But that's just my take. Now, I will say I was also looking online, especially during the Prime days, on air filters. And I don't know what kind of system you have, but your HVAC system, that can also help kind of clear the air. You got to make sure you're staying on top of exchanging those filters when, maybe more often than not with all of this pollen. But you need to have a good team on your side, an indoor comfort team, heating and air conditioning. They're a fantastic team because they're your neighbors. The techs coming in and out of your home, they live here and have been for a while. They know what this kind of heat can do to a system. They know how to make sure that it is going to get the best for your buck. So the thing that they have going on right now at an indoor comfort team, well, actually, I should say the things. They got a couple of great promotions. Now, the one that I like the most, because as I said, you got to stay on top of everything, is they have a VIP maintenance membership program. So this is $19.99 a month, but the benefits certainly outweigh that price. I mean, for just that $19.99 a month, you're going to receive 24/7 priority service and support. You don't have to pay any overtime, any after hours, holiday rate pricing. You get the same price that you always pay. You get a permanent 10% discount if anything has to be repaired. I mean, that alone is going to eat up that $19.99 a month. Then you have the spring AC tune-up and the fall winter furnace tune-up and priority scheduling. So if something isn't right, they're going to come to you first. And that, is, as I said, is just one of the many promotions. You can learn more online at indoorcomfortteam.com or just give them a call, get them on your schedule, have them come out and look your system over. 314-894-8200.
All right, I just looked it up. The 5 menu items at Taco Bell that, and they're not like tacos or whatever. These are ingredients that they have temporarily pulled from the menu: lettuce, cilantro, onion, pico de gallo, which has cilantro and
produce,
in it, and guacamole.
Yep.
And so they say you could still get some of your favorite menu items, but if it has lettuce, it's not going to have lettuce anymore. If the Cantina Chicken Mexican Pizza is normally topped with pico de gallo, it ain't going to be this time. And the
better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I know. The CDC and Taco Bell have said, look, we're not admitting or saying that this is some sort of admission of guilt, but out of an abundance of caution, because we don't want to make Bob sick, we are going to temporarily suspend these menu items.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
All right, it's about 10 minutes before 4 o'clock. Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Heidi, we have one crash. It's an accident on 255 North at 64 over in Illinois with traffic jammed back to Route 15. 5570 East is heavy from Illinois 203 to 111. 5570 West is slow from 255 to Black Lane. 64 East is crowded between Illinois 111 and 157. And 55 South is jammed between Route M in Barnhart and on Route Z in Peevely. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Are you looking to buy a new home, set money aside for college, or start planning for retirement? Royal Banks of Missouri is here to create a personalized savings strategy that works for you and your financial goals. From roundup savings to money market to individual retirement accounts, they offer a variety of options to help you save for life's most memorable moments. Call 314-212-1500 or visit a location near you to learn more. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event.
The Raceway features a full schedule on their drag strip, oval track, and Gateway Kartplex. For full schedule and ticket info, go online to www.raceway.com.
The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to www.raceway.com.
That's www.raceway.com.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
I think this is something we haven't talked nearly enough about, the escalating security threats to Supreme Court justices. Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge FBI, is joining us with that story. And I know that some of the justices testified before the House and Senate Appropriations Committee today. What did you learn?
Yeah, it appears that they're asking for a fairly large increase in their security, and that's because what they did testify to is that they are seeing an increased threat to themselves, meaning the justices, not only at the courthouse, which has always been a very well-protected location, but at their residences, that they've had protests there where they've had to call in local police to assist. They've had squatting incidents, and I believe they've even had a couple of cyber issues with their at their residences. So all of that together comes, at a time when, whether it's social media, the internet, or whatever, there is greater focus on what the decisions are by the justices, and people are acting out more against them, which is causing a greater threat also to the justices.
Rich, what kind of security do they have now?
Well, they've always had a police force. I think it's over 60 years that or actually more, that they've had a police force where it was anywhere from, I believe, up to 33 police officers. But over the time, that has dramatically increased. And this police force now which was only protecting the building and the justices when they were in the building, has now taken over basically all the protection of the justices. So they will handle the executive protection. In other words, getting the justices to and from the courthouse, to and from other meetings, when they give lectures or whatever they're doing. They now have these officers that will provide protection for them. And then they're also getting additional cyber protections because of all the threats that have been coming in and the possible or potential hacking of their emails or the courthouse electronic communications.
And Rich, I know that they name dropped Dobbs as one of the cases, and that would be the abortion that was turned over a couple of years ago. Did they mention any other particular cases where they've seen a rise in activity, or are they just now a target because everybody wants a piece of them?
Yeah, I think it's. I didn't hear specific cases, but I did hear specific instances where they discussed threats to themselves. I actually don't remember the case, but there was one recently where there were a lot of protests. It might have been related to ICE or something else. I'm not really sure, but that there were protests at one of the justices' house, and they had to call local law enforcement in to make sure that people who stayed or didn't come on the property, and the justices did feel threatened because there was no protection for them at the time. Another time, I believe one of the justices talked to her child about why she had to wear a bulletproof vest. Mm-hmm. Because of a threat that was out there because of one of the decisions that they were making. So there has been that increased threat to them. And again, whether it's social media, it makes it easier for people to make contact. There have been many more threats online against them, whether they're specific threats or more general threats, talking about just harm and violence to the justices.
Rich, are we getting close to where we think we'll have to give security to the justices like we do the president, meaning 24 hours a day, no matter where they go?
Yes, I do. I think that's actually where it's going fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to have full details on them, like the president. In other words, that type of detail. But there would be officers that would go with them, when they leave the house. To whatever function they're going to, whether it's, I guess, personal or business, so that they would have, they would be safe during that time. Again, the justices, normally are fairly open about where they go and where they're speaking and who they're speaking to when they're not in session. And it may come down to where now they have to be a little bit more guarded, and there has to be more protective, more protection in place when they actually go to these events.
And what of members of Congress? What do they get? There's 100 senators, 400 something in the House. Are they going to start getting one security detail apiece?
Some do. Some do at this point. The Speaker has a security detail. Certain members of the Senate have details. And also, if there's a specific threat that comes in to a senator or a congressman, they will get a detail for a certain amount of time, and that will be reviewed over and over again to see if there is a ongoing threat to that senator or congressman. And that's usually handled by the U.S. Capitol Police. So you have the U.S. Capitol Police for the House and Senate. You have the Secret Service for the president and the vice president, and then you have the Supreme Court police that actually handle all the security measures now for the justices of the Supreme Court. It used to be also part of the U.S. Marshal Service, but that has shifted now, and this police force that usually used to just protect the justices at the Supreme Court are handling a lot more and will be handling their entire executive protection portfolio.
All right, Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge, FBI. Thank you for your insight.
Proposing a 20% toll on ships in the Strait. President Trump is backing away from the plan and now says the U.S. will be paid through trade deals.
We're spending money, and so what we've done is we are going to be reimbursed for protection.
Iran also launching strikes targeting U.S. facilities in the region today. The renewed hostilities driving up oil and gas prices even further. Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan.
Motorists may go to work this morning with a lower price. They may see prices that are 15 to 40 cents a gallon higher on their way home from work today or even tomorrow.
On Capitol Hill, Supreme Court Justices Amy Coney Barrett and Elena Kagan testified today before House and Senate committees about the budget request for next year. It's calling for $228 million, including a 10% increase for security. Justice Barrett explained she and her colleagues are receiving threats in a variety of ways.
Many of us, me included, have received threatening anonymous deliveries designed to intimidate and harass us.
Barrett says during the Dobbs decision leak, she was given a bulletproof vest to take home by her security detail. A major fast food chain modifying some ingredients at select locations due to the cyclosporiasis outbreak.
Taco Bell says it is voluntarily and temporarily removing some ingredients at select restaurants as a precautionary move amid the parasitic outbreak impacting multiple states. The company is noting that public health officials have not confirmed a link between cyclosporiasis and any specific supplier or restaurant. In Michigan alone, 600 more cases have been reported since Monday. Preliminary findings in Michigan suggest lettuce or salad greens could be the source of the illness. Alex Stone, ABC News.
The CDC is tracking cases in at least 31 states. You're listening to ABC News.
Onyx.
I keep having.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Hey, thanks, Farmer Dave. We didn't get the nickname the St. Louis Corvette Kings by accident. We have specialized in Corvettes for over 30 years, and I need more. You have one for sale, especially C6, C7, and Classic Corvettes. I'm an immediate buyer for very clean, low-mile examples. Hop on our site, mastercarsinc.com, or give us a call to submit what you have. We'll even come to you if we have to. Owe money on it? Don't worry. We'll make the payoff and pay your equity right on the spot. This has been a fantastic Corvette summer, and I want to keep it rolling.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
Good afternoon. We have 90 degrees at 4:03. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News, and here's what's happening. Governor Mike Kehoe signed legislation aimed at bringing hundreds of millions of dollars in new investment to downtown St. Louis. Specifically, the legislation is designed to boost redevelopment of major vacant properties like the AT&T building and the Railway Exchange building. The legislation also creates new innovation districts and supports the revitalization of main streets across the Show Me State. A majestic marvel from a different era is coming to the Gateway City. KTRS's Brendan Weesey has those details.
St. Louisans will have a rare opportunity to see the world's largest operating steam locomotive as it makes its way across town next week. The Union Pacific Big Boy 4014 will be making a pass through the metro area on Monday, July 20th, as part of its coast-to-coast tour to commemorate America's 250th birthday. The National Museum of Transportation will be hosting a watch party with the train's arrival expected at approximately 10:15 in the morning. I'm Brendan Weesey, KTRS News.
New data center development in St. Charles County is being put on hold. The St. Charles County Council voted last night in favor of a 6-month moratorium on new data center projects. County Executive Steve Ellman noted that the moratorium is not a ban, but an opportunity to really study the effects of possible data center development in the area. Ellman says the county will take a close look at the potential impact on health and the environment. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Taking a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement, Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow, the S&P, the Nasdaq all closed up today. The Dow up 10 points to 52,508. The Nasdaq up 233 points to 26,107, and the S&P up 28 points to 7,543. Now for a check of sports and traffic, we say hello to Paul Kopsky.
Hello, Vicki. Baseball's All-Star Game takes center stage tonight in Philly. Jordan Walker, Riley O'Brien, and Ivan Herrera will be representing the Cardinals along with manager Ali Marmol, who will be an assistant coach for the NL. And last night, Jordan Walker had zero margin for error, but hit 6 straight home runs in the finals to win the Home Run Derby. Walker beats home team favorite Kyle Schwarber to become the first Cardinal ever to take down the Derby crown. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. In Illinois, there's an accident on 255 North at 64 with traffic jammed back to Route 15. 64 East is crowded between Illinois 111 and 157. 55 South is congested between Route M in Barnhart and Route Z in Peevely. And 64 West is running slow at Prospect out west. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 90 degrees at the KTRS studios at Westport. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Wake up, it's a brand new day. Getting your weekday started the St. Louis way. It's the McGraw Show.
My name is Carl, the intern, and Wednesday on the McGraw Show. Hey, theater nerds. Dennis Brown is going to tell you the history of St. Louis theater at 9:10. Wednesday with McGraw.
McGraw Millhaven, Rose Dalton, and Carl the intern. Weekday morning, 6 to 10.
Right here on your hometown station, the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for this Tuesday afternoon, July 14th. New study reveals the science behind why cats lick each other. Spoiler, they're not always being nice.
Oh.
It's long been thought that cats lick and groom each other to show affection and help keep each other clean in those hard-to-reach spots. But that might not always be the case. According to a new study published in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science, cats may sometimes groom each other to be annoying or irritating rather than to simply be nice. Mutual grooming, known as allo-grooming, is common among many species, usually involves the parts of the body that an animal struggles to reach. However, a cat behavioral scientist in Belgium noticed something interesting with her own cats as they would fight over a popular place to nap in the sun. She says that owl grooming is commonly described as a friendly behavior. In my own cats, I saw it was sometimes not so friendly, and this curiosity led to the study. She continued, for example, one of my cats would be laying by the window, and the other one would approach and lick their neck. This would be quickly followed by some biting, and the original cat leaving the spot by the window, which would then be taken by the cat who initiated the licking, which I think is
passive aggressive.
Yes. In some of the videos, the cats behaved as expected. They licked each other in the head, the neck, the ears, and would mimic each other's posture, either cuddling together or sitting alongside each other. However, in one footage, licking was a precursor to conflict. The cats differed in body language, posture, and the licked cat would display signs of stress, including staring, yowling, swiping, and licking their lips. So licking may be a way for cats to express their displeasure with each other without getting into an actual fight. Isn't that interesting?
Or I'm going to lick you until you move from that spot because I want it.
Yeah, they're licking to be annoying. Yeah, I have siblings. I know. I know how that works. What's the thing where you lick in the wet willy in the ear?
Oh, yes.
In the ear.
It's the cat version of the wet willy.
Yeah.
Now we know.
So Connor does the animal show now. I used to do it for years on the weekends, but all the vets say the same thing. There's no point in even trying to understand
cats.
That's so funny. So funny. We all love history here, and this is an interesting one. Archaeologists have transcribed mural symbols from Mayan ruins to learn the name of an astronomer and mathematician from the ancient civilization for the first time, according to Guatemala's Ministry of Culture. They said this Monday. The name was found in drawings dating back from 400 BC to 900 AD at the San Bartolo Zoltan archaeological site near the Mexican border. Culture Minister Luis Mendez told reporters researchers unearthed a complete mathematical and astronomical formula authored by Sak Tan Wax, which translates to the weird guy who stares at the sky.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's all I got.
I'm so fascinated by, I would say ancient, but not even that ancient. These are like 1600s. I mean, before the Spaniards came over here and wiped them all out. They were just rocking and rolling, and of course they would have come up with math and
the
astrology and
not
astronomy.
Necessarily. A lot of ancient peoples did not.
But they knew what was going on in the skies. I feel like most civilizations kind of figured
had an idea, maybe.
Kind of figured that out.
By the way, the real name is white-chested fox was the translation.
Oh. Well, and then they
like mine better.
They came up with that Mayan calendar.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So they at least knew.
Well, the Mayans and the Aztecs were different, but
Yeah.
all ancient peoples weren't like that.
All right. So the World Cup is at least it's over for me.
Oh. Is that right?
France bowed out.
Did you have them going the entire way?
All the way. All the way, baby.
Wow.
España.
Okay.
Yeah, Spain just beat them. Brendan will give us an update in the 5 o'clock hour. But I guess now I'm rooting for England.
Oh, okay. Does that mean you're placing a bet on England, or you're just going to root for them?
Heidi, I don't even know if I have any money left.
Okay.
But if he does.
But if you've been watching the World Cup, you've seen when they take these penalty kicks, how they do that stutter step.
Yes.
That stutter step.
Not everybody, but some.
And you're like, why are you doing that? And then the guy misses it. And you're like, why did you even do that? Just kick the ball like they used to.
When did you play soccer?
I quit in the fifth grade.
Oh.
Because
you couldn't master the stutter step.
It's too much running.
Right.
Right.
Well, then,
Way
by
too
all
much
means,
running.
please judge these professionals.
No, they do that to try and get the goalie to commit.
Off. Yeah.
Well, whether you're on board with it or not, here's the statistics on the stutter step. Players who did it, players who didn't it, regardless, in 2026, they were both 65% accurate.
Yeah.
In years past, you've been a little bit more accurate from 1982 to 2022, 40 years when they did this. You've been a little more accurate. Obviously not doing it. I don't really even know if they did it back then. But if you're at home and say, oh, they always miss when they do that.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
I think just you thought that.
No, 84126.
It is interesting to see the guys that are just completely still. And then boom, a quick shot.
Yeah.
And the different ways to approach it are really interesting because you got to make it.
Yes.
You gotta
Well,
make
I was
it.
going to say it's kind of like a free throw with less.
Pressure, yeah.
Yes.
But at the end of a game.
That's right. But with a free throw, people do all kinds of interesting things. Some of it might just be for their own mental sake. It's their routine, and this is what they've done. Or maybe they made one in a big situation, and so this is what we're going to do every single time.
Or think about hockey shootouts where guys do all different kinds of
they go
moves.
all the way around. And yeah. And then they still miss it.
And still miss.
Yeah,
Or
well-
goalie makes a save.
That's true. I mean, that's what makes sports so much fun, I think.
65% accurate regardless.
Because as Josh would tell you, we really don't know what's going to happen, do we, Josh?
No. No.
But I can tell you this, when you visit Springfield, Illinois, you do know what's going to happen. You're going to make a lot of great memories, and you're going to learn a little something, and you're going to have so much fun, and you're probably going to eat something absolutely delicious. 2026 is loaded with fun things to do in Springfield, Illinois, which is just about an hour and 15 minutes from downtown St. Louis. So it's easy to get there. You can spend the day, or better yet, an entire weekend. And the places to see, I mean, you can really go back in time. The 1908 Race Riot mural will take you back. And there's even a walking tour if you haven't heard much about it. You've got the Abe Lincoln rail splitter statue that you have to take a picture beside. And the Ace Sign Company Sign Museum, which is one of my favorites because you've got all the neon signs. And there's just something about an old sign, whether it's that old stag sign that would hang off the old bar, or maybe it's something bigger. Maybe it's a cool parking sign. And of course, Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum is a do not miss. There's lots of great things you can do outdoors as well with the Lincoln Memorial Garden. You've got the Adams Wildlife Sanctuary. I could go on and on about all the great things to see and do. But really, if you go to visitspringfieldillinois.com, you can come up and hit play, stay, eat, drink. There's all kinds of events. And then you hit plan, and they will come up with different itineraries for you. If you really want to dig into Abraham Lincoln, there's a whole little passport just for that. So plan your trip to Springfield, Illinois at visitspringfieldillinois.com.
Mike Lippert here for Lisi Lumber, a family-owned company that's been serving the area since 1872. You've heard McGraw mention our knowledgeable staff, excellent customer service, and the best of woods. We're now producing and delivering custom prefabricated trellises, pavilions, and pergolas. Union-made, union-delivered. Homeowners and do-it-yourselfers are going to love these. Got an idea? Send a sketch and some dimensions and we'll take care of the rest. For the best of woods and prefabricated outdoor dreams, call Lisi Lumber 234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Save money on your next oil change at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic or high mileage motor oil for just $35.95. Power your drive with Mobil 1. Buy 5 quarts, get $15 back, and score a fast and furious prize after rebate. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Let's face it, most people are not thinking about planning a funeral, but planning ahead can bring you significant savings by locking in today's prices. Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens in Fairview Heights is part of Dignity Memorial. They've been an essential part of the community for generations and believe a funeral service or cremation memorial should be as unique as the person it honors. Receive low interest options on prepaid cremation property and burial plans and up to 10% off cemetery property and funeral plans. Experience the dignity difference. Call Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens at 618-233-7200 to schedule a pre-planning appointment. Online at dignitymemorial.com.
This is the Business Journal Report with editor Eric Seamers on the Heidi Glaus Show. Powered by Capital Advisory Group. CapitalAdvisoryGRP.com.
There is officially a plan for the Rams settlement money. The St. Louis Business Journal is on top of that story and others. And Eric Seamers, the editor, is back to discuss. Thanks for making time for us.
Always happy to do it.
So the mayor signed Board Bill 22. What's in this? Where's this money going?
So this is the same bill that the Board of Aldermen had approved earlier in the month. It is a spending plan for $255 million in Rams settlement money, and it's organized into 3 distinct categories. There are $120 million that will go towards North St. Louis, and including $89 million for long-term tornado recovery. Another $80 million of this 255 will go to citywide infrastructure, things like the water system. And then there's $55 million earmarked for downtown revitalization. Now, this is, of course, long-term spending of this money, but the mayor's office has already made some immediate moves. They said $2.5 million would immediately be invested into North St. Louis to remove hazardous trees, dangerous stumps, and repairing some sidewalks, work that was otherwise ineligible for Federal Emergency Management Agency reimbursement. So that work is going to be done immediately. And the city also said it was transferring some settlement funds, including $40 million to the city's water division to immediately support some essential infrastructure repairs that had to get done immediately.
So, Eric, pardon me for being the cynic here. First of all, I think the mayor, I'm not a St. Louis resident, but as an outsider, I think he's making every effort to do a great job. But I'm concerned, and maybe it's a reaction to all the fraud and abuse all over the country. Who is the watchdog over this money and making sure that contractors and others aren't getting rich off of this?
Yeah, it's a good question. We had Mayor Kara Spencer on our podcast, the Art City Report, a few weeks ago, and we specifically asked her that question as it related to, like for example, there was a portion of this money that was going to earmark for some grants to small businesses in North St. Louis. So, of course, anybody hears North City grants, small business, is going to recall a couple of years ago some of the grants that were going to people whose businesses maybe weren't in North St. Louis or weren't actually active businesses. There was some alleged fraud involved in the distribution of some of those loans. But Mayor Kara Spencer, maybe without getting into great detail, tried to really distance her administration from that of something that happened in a prior administration, to sort of basically suggest that things are different now. They're going to really heavily focus on being a watchdog, on making sure this money is spent correctly. But the devil will be in the details once this gets allocated. I mean, there's not a whole lot really. They're saying the right things. They're recognizing what has come before, and in some cases, the money isn't going to be spent, just willy nilly. There's the downtown money, for example, is going to be matched by corporate, the private sector, according to Greater St. Louis Inc. So there's a lot of hands in this in different ways, and each pot of money sort of has its own oversight mechanisms that are being run by different elements.
And Eric, I've said this before. The analogy that I used with this Rams money was, it was like mom and dad said, we're going to go on a big vacation, and then the AC unit starts shooting sparks. Cleaning up North City was not really in the plans, but tragically, we have to do it. Are there whispers inside of this thing to say cleanup and revitalization of North City, or is this truly just to pick up the pieces?
No, it's both. So to be fair, pre-tornado, there was still going to be a lot of this money that was going to be redirected to North St. Louis for revitalization. The tornado complicates it for sure, but a big part of this at the city administration, the mayor's administration has discussed, is using some of this they've got now funds to help really activate and finance a lot of neighborhood plans that were put in place prior to the tornado, designed to reactivate individual neighborhoods. Now, exactly how that's going to work is still something that we're looking into, but they're really, these communities put together plans that go almost block by block of what the community wants to have happen there and to create a trajectory for individual neighborhoods. It's important to remember North St. Louis isn't this singular structure. It is for us on a map, and it's easy to categorize because of the challenges in North St. Louis, but it is a collection of distinct neighborhoods. And many of them have their own mapped out sort of plans for how to revitalize themselves, but they need funding. They need some capital to get going. Some of this money is going to be applied to kickstart some of those efforts.
Okay. Let's talk about Governor Kehoe, who also signed a major economic development bill. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this one is particularly critical for downtown St. Louis. So the bill, known as the Missouri Innovation, Public Safety, and Accountability Act. It creates a set of incentives aimed at renovating vacant office buildings, funding some public safety improvements, attracting new businesses and investment to the state. Within there are incentives for an office-to-residential tax credit. In other words, a tax credit for developers who want to take, say, a vacant office building and convince that space into residential units, apartments, whatnot. And it's been a long sought incentive that developers have said is key to making it possible to make the investments in buildings like AT&T Tower and Railway Exchange. In fact, one of the biggest backers of this initiative was the Goldman Group. The Goldman Group is the Boston-based development firm that has acquired a couple of years ago AT&T Tower, the state's biggest, and the state and the region's biggest office building by square footage, and one has been vacant since about 2017. So Charles Goldman, the managing partner of Goldman Group, has just said that is critical. He's got a $350 million plan to redevelop AT&T Tower that includes converting, including money, office buildings into housing. So this would, he says, it's sort of going to help them move their project forward, while also giving his firm confidence that more investment will come to St. Louis. So in other words, his firm is going to invest this money into downtown. These tax credits are going to help it, but he also thinks because of tools like this, it's going to enable more people to want to invest in downtown St. Louis and build off of that. Now, it isn't going to happen just automatically. Right. You have to. The provision requires a government leader like the mayor to opt into creating an innovation zone. They're specifically tied to these innovation zones, and there are limits to it. Some cities are allowed to create one state-certified innovation zone, which must include their downtown or primary commercial core. It can only encompass a maximum of 10% of the city. So the next steps are for the city to decide the boundaries for the innovation zone around downtown. And it's a matter of details, but it's more bureaucracy we kind of have to wait for before we really see the fine print on that moving forward.
Eric,
this bill, go ahead.
I was just going to say, You see the Tribune Tower in downtown Chicago on the Magnificent Mile. They have started converting a lot of that office space to really nice apartments, and that penthouse up there. You can look at it online. It's really something. That building in New York that almost collapsed last week, that was an office conversion into residential. Is this the future of high-rise buildings? A business. We're trying to get businesses to come back downtown, but maybe that's not the future.
Well, and I think that is widely accepted. The nature of work has changed so much that even companies that are still having people come into the office are doing so with perhaps less frequency and certainly with a lot less need for space. A lot of the big office moves we've seen in St. Louis in the last couple of years have usually been downsizes. There aren't. This is like the heyday of 5 to 10 years ago, where really fast-growing companies were constantly eating up more and bigger space. The culture has changed, so that's a part of it. So yes, there's going to be a lot of excess office space that needs to be used. So the question then becomes, how do you use it? And when you look at most commercial office space developments, the use cases are pretty narrow. It's always been an office. It's always, or maybe there's a retail component. But now we're starting to see that, well, if there isn't going to be offices moving in, what else do we have? It seems like to me the most practical thing is to convert it into places to live, because that is one of the other sort of obvious use cases for a building like that. Maybe there are other options that people haven't thought about. We haven't seen proposals for it, but this is one that is seemingly more practical and something. And keep in mind, when you come up with a plan to reuse a building, you also have to come up with a plan that some bank or investors are going to want to invest in.
Yeah.
So you might want to say, let's turn AT&T Tower into a giant museum of fun. And it sounds really cool. And on paper, it sounds great. But if you can't get anyone to finance it and they don't think it's going to make money, it's never going to happen. Turning them into residences is a much more practical thing. But even in downtown St. Louis, it's not an easy bet, because there hasn't been. It's still kind of trying to turn itself around. So what Mr. Goldman's saying in this case is that incentives like this are likely to make other investors open their eyes to the possibilities there, because they're reducing the risk by reducing some of the cost burdens by making them come downtown.
Well, I'm very excited about it. Eric, do you have any idea the last time that a governor really kind of did something like this for downtown St. Louis?
Well, no. I mean, there's a distinction to be made. I mean, I can't say, I haven't been here that long. We've had, I couldn't say what Jay Nixon did or someone else prior to that. But, there is something to be said for Mike Kehoe being a St. Louisan and being a champion for this legislation. At the same time, Mike Kehoe is involved in the Police Oversight Board and having picked the commissioners for there, which is at loggerheads with the city in a pretty public and bitter dispute over police funding. So there's give and take with the St. Louis in the governor's office. Someone could say he's doing wonderful things for St. Louis. Critics could say, well, yeah, but look what's happening with the police department. So it's not easy just to, in other words, you can't just sort of take the idea of him as a St. Louis and think everything's going to work out great for St. Louis. There's some gray areas in there.
Okay, another story your team is covering is about data centers in St. Charles County. What did you guys learn?
So St. Charles County, they voted unanimously on Monday night to approve a 6-month moratorium on large-scale data centers to evaluate their potential impact on the county. So this bill temporarily prohibits approval, construction, expansion, or operation of any large-scale data centers there. It applies to the entire county. That includes its incorporated cities, towns, and villages. It was introduced by County Executive Steve Ellman, who, of course, is running for re-election in a pretty heated race for county executive out there. So the county intends to use that 6-month period to conduct studies, gather information, consult, coordinate, all the sort of stuff that you do. And Ellman said, early this month about it, he says, he just wants to know the facts, good or bad. these large-scale data centers, are they good? We want to know that before even letting one get established in their county. So this is we've seen elements of this happen already in the past, where these communities are confronted by these challenges. The politicians are faced by neighbors who are fuming mad about not wanting them in their community. We saw, in south of St. Louis, an entire county government. They've lost many of their council members were elected out because they allowed the approval of a data center. So there's some strong political implications here if you're a public government to just sort of say yes to these things, especially in places like St. Charles County, where they're not facing a lot of the same problems as you are here in the city in St. Louis County. So this is a tactic that in a way you could look at as buying time.
Yeah.
These county officials want the tax revenue that these things will generate, but they're facing also residents who just don't want them. So they're really trying to thread a needle here, and enabling these sort of delays with moratoriums. I don't know how much it's going to yield. I mean, there's so many facts and so much information out there about data centers that you kind of have to wonder how much more can you learn. But I think as much of it is sort of allows them some time to think of a strategy that finds the best happy medium for them.
Yeah. Well, you can read more about what's happening in business news in our area online at bizjournals.com/St. Louis. Eric, we always appreciate your time.
Glad to be here.
This July, we celebrate 250 years of the U.S. independence and 1 year since the Big Beautiful Bill became law. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and the author of the #1 best-selling books on taxes, Keep What's Yours and Keeping What's Yours. Let's celebrate our history and take advantage of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Give us a call at 636-394-5524. That's 636-394-5524. Or visit us online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
It's 4:38. Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Heidi, no accidents, just some slow traffic. On 70 West at Shreve, it looks like they've cleared a stalled vehicle, but traffic is still slow back to Grand. 64 West is heavy between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker, and it's bumper to bumper from Prospect to I-70. 64 East bogs down at 170. 64 East is also crowded between Illinois 111 and 157, and 5570 East is congested from 255 to Illinois 157. This traffic report is brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday for a free showing of the Disney classic Cars. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. The first 75 people to bring an unwrapped toy for families in need get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free family movie night this Friday, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hi, I'm Robert Williams, owner of Auto Art on the Hill. If you own a classic car, Auto Art is your one-stop shop for repair, restoration, and maintenance. For over 35 years, we've helped car enthusiasts and collectors keep their vehicles looking great and running their best so they can drive them. We're also proud to be the home of the award-winning Throttle Squad Car Club. Classic cars are meant to be driven, and like any vehicles, they require regular maintenance. Our experts will help keep you and your classic on the road. Fall in love with your car again. Visit Auto Art at 5305 Northrop Avenue on the Hill, online at autoartstl.com.
Summer in St. Louis means oppressive heat and humidity. Now's the time to take advantage of Aldon Heating and Cooling's $79 AC check with a free home air quality snapshot. And summer is allergy season. Now's the time to take advantage of Aldon's $200 off an allergy relief package, which includes an air scrubber and filtration system. Book your appointment now as spaces are filling up fast. Certain restrictions apply. And for information on a state-of-the-art dike and fit system, visit al-don.com.
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
Yeah, they're on the med, and these medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain. I don't have the...
Because once you start losing weight, all these other things naturally happen to you in a positive way. Not just talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at STLMedWeightLoss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. And what's beautiful about it, too, hey, I get it. The economy, what we just had, guys, things are difficult right now, but we make the plan work for you. We have financing options. We make this work for you because we realize how important it is to get down in your weight, get your confidence back, and really start feeling like the old you.
Call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
Are you carrying a heavy burden or looking for spiritual renewal? For over 82 years, the annual Healing and Hope Novena at the National Shrine of Our Lady of the Snows in Belleville has been a beacon of spiritual inspiration. Join us for 9 consecutive nights of solemn prayer where each evening focuses on a different healing theme. Trials are a part of life, but through prayer and the intercession of Our Lady, we seek the answers to overcome them. Every nightly Mass includes special reflections, music, and concludes with a beautiful praying of the Rosary by candlelight. Attend any or all of these 9 evening Masses. Visit snows.org/novena.
Hey, this is Zipper Zappa. You know, St. Louis has great sports, great entertainment. Time for some great conversation. That's why I'm excited to invite you to the Mater Media Speaker Series. We're bringing in Bill O'Reilly, Cardinal Dolan, John O'Leary, other national speakers at the J. Scheidegger Center for the Arts, Lindenwood University. Tickets are on sale. Don't wait. Early bird pricing going on now. Go to matermedia.org. That's MATERmedia.org.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Do you sit with your legs crossed? Because I do. And sometimes it's ankles crossed. Like if I'm at home watching TV, I always have an ottoman. I have an ottoman in the RV. I like to put my feet up. Maybe it's because I'm so short, they don't reach the ground comfortably. So if I can put an ottoman, you know, it's a little different.
We're in high top chairs, and I got my ankles crossed right now.
Yeah. Well, this physical therapist say you might want to maybe not hold that position too terribly long. One of the reasons people like to sit with their legs crossed is because it gives your body a little extra support, especially if you're leaning towards your computer. But there's a catch. If that's your go-to position all day, it can lead to muscle stiffness and other aches and pains. Crossing your legs can also cause a temporary bump in blood pressure, which is why doctors usually say uncross your legs when they're taking your blood pressure.
Oh, I never noticed that.
They want your feet flat on the floor every single time. Basically, crossing your legs is fine. Just don't do it for too long. It's really about not keeping yourself in any position for hours on end. Physical therapists recommend getting up and moving about 30 minutes.
I have had portions of the day where I'll uncross my legs and kind of give it a little stretch because it feels like
maybe
it's...
a moan, like
I can't keep my legs crossed for very long at all. I feel like I'm not getting right circulation.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You ever do this? You're sitting at your desk and you go to cross it and you do that bang.
Oh, it's the worst.
Oh, my knee.
Yeah, there's going to be a bruise.
Yeah. Was that a good bang, Bob?
Mhm.
That was a good one.
And then you see, I always thought that this was, the fancy Europeans where they'll go, even the men, they'll go for the full...
Cross.
I do that sometimes.
And a lean, you mean?
Yeah, and a lean and everything.
That's the Whitey Herzog in the dugout lean.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Over the, with his arm up?
And leans and then has...
Would he do the full croc? Case,
No, at the knee. At the knee.
At the knee.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always thought that was a little effeminate, but I think...
How judgy.
Fancy. I think it's fancier.
I think it used to be considered
A little effeminate.
I don't think it is anymore.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, here, how do I look?
A little effeminate.
I was going to say like you're going to fall off that stool.
Well, that too.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis with my home when it matters most. They are the local experts who know our area best. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress, but one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The tradition continues on Saturday, July 25th when the Cardinals play the Cincinnati Reds. That day you can take home the fan favorite Victory Blue jersey, just like the one the Cardinals wear every road Saturday, presented by Stiefel. It's a clean, classic look that stands out all season long. Available in medium and extra large while supplies last. Step into Saturday in Victory Blue. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Michael McGreevy. See you at Busch Stadium.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them, and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
Carney, Buck.
Wednesday when we get together, some travel tips from some friends, Jules.
That's right. We've got Kelly from AAA Travel coming in to tell you about their latest specials so you can get away.
Bob Ramsey knows a thing about traveling or two, just coming back from a couple weeks vacation. Let's see if he's still a show.
We'll ask him.
Also, two Johnnies. That's a lot for a Wednesday, but starts at noon. Hope to see you then.
John Carney, Julie Buck. Weekdays at noon on KTRS. The talk of St. Louis.
10 minutes before 5 o'clock, Captain Paul, are the roads busy?
Well, we have an accident now, Heidi, on 70 West at 370, blocking the two left lanes and causing a stop and go back up to Zumbel. Estimated clearance time is 5:35. 64 West is heavy between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker, and it's crawling from Prospect to I-70. 64 East bogs down at 170. 64 East is also crowded between Illinois 111 and 157, and 5570 East is congested from 255 to Illinois 157. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, it looks like United Airlines has found another product to sell travelers. You can pay to keep the middle seat open. Alex Stone, ABC News correspondent in LA, joins us with that story. I have to admit, when I first saw our rundown and Josh put buy in the middle seat, I thought, wait a minute, we're going to buy the middle seat to sit in? But this is completely different.
Yeah, and kind of back to pandemic times where, remember when there was nobody sitting in the middle seat, and I mean that was maybe one good part of pandemic flying, that you knew nobody was going to be sitting next to you. But what this is United is getting the new high-tech Airbus A321XLR, and these are a cool new type of A321. American just got a few of them. United's beginning to get them now, and they're going to replace the very aging Boeing 757s that United has been kind of keeping alive for as long as they can, and it's time to replace them. So United says that they have found that the passengers are willing to spend more for a better onboard product, more equal to what Asian and European carriers have long done, but U.S. carriers have kind of been more in the model of squeeze us all in, you'll get an okay product, maybe the plane's not all that clean, but you're fine, you'll pay for it and get to where you want to go. And United now adding the suites with the doors that close, and where if you are on a long-haul flight and you have a family where you've got 3 seats, you can put a mattress down and you can all use it as a bed. These are all new things that around the world airlines have done for quite a while, but U.S. carriers have never done. Well, this all goes along with the CEO saying people are willing to spend more for a better onboard experience and what they're trying to do.
This investment is really about changing the customer experience.
And so now the new product, that they are going to block the middle seat in the front row of their new A321XLRs to offer an improved economy product. So if you don't want to pay for Polaris, the suites up front, you don't want to pay for premium economy, maybe you'll pay for economy, but a little bit more to block that middle seat, put a tray across it so you can put your drink on it and your phone and things, and no is going to sit there. This is something that European airlines for a very long called business class. If you're on a short haul European flight, you pay for business class. You don't get a bigger seat. You get an economy seat, and they block that middle seat, and that is business class. And so United right now is all about the upsell, getting you to pay more for something that they can entice you to shell out that money, saying on a recent earnings call.
And the good example has been our ability to upsell into premium seats, both in the coach cabin and in the first or Polaris cabin, which we're doing at really unprecedented levels in our history. And the ability to monetize that is really, really key.
That is what they are doing here. But there is a reason why they are doing it. It's not just, hey, let's block off the middle seats in the front row and see if people want to pay for them. The FAA mandates that there is one flight attendant for every 50 people. If they unblock those 2 middle seats, they are above the threshold by 2 people to need a 5th flight attendant on board. By blocking those 2 middle seats, they only need 4 flight attendants on board. They believe by you paying more to sit there, and by not paying the salary of a 5th flight attendant and their hotel and all their other travel expenses, that they will make money, and they believe it is a win-win for them and for you, because if you want a little more room on that, this will typically be Europe, East Coast to Europe flight. So 6, 7, 8 hours. If on that 8-hour flight, you want a little more room, that you'll be willing to pay for it. And they believe that they'll win by not having to bring on the 5th flight attendant, and you'll win by getting that seat.
I mean, it's just a couple people here and there, but weight also a factor, right? Would they save money on jet fuel?
You burn more fuel. If the more weight you've got on board, sure. But this is really, and United today said they will always have the minimum, the FAA minimum, at least of 4 flight attendants on their XLRs. They may put 5 on board, but this would make so there's not the requirement that they have 5 on board.
Alex, did you get a feel for actual cost to the consumer? For instance, if I'm paying, let's say, $500 for a round-trip ticket, another $100, another $200, another $300. Did you get a feel for actual dollars?
We don't know, yeah. Yeah, we don't know yet. They haven't actually started selling it. They only announced it today, and I'm sure it's going to be like Polaris and everything else. It's supply and demand. You know, on one flight you may go, oh, wow, it's only another $200. On other flights you may be like, man, $2,500.
Yikes.
Yeah, to sit there based on what the supply and demand on board is. But they claim it will be, and you would expect that it won't be the cost of going up to Polaris class or to premium economy. It's going to be below those.
Yeah, well, it is interesting, and we'll see what happens and how many people take advantage of it. Alex, always great checking in.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
All right, lots of people checking out for the day, but we've got more coming up, including we're going to talk to the executive director at the Kransberg Arts Foundation. That's who's behind Maddie, which is the music at the Intersection Festival. It's in its 6th season, and it's coming up this weekend. We'll find out who's performing, how many stages, how it kicks off with a special concert, and more. So I hope you'll hang out for that. It's coming up after this short break. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh and Bob on the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Hi, I'm Robert Williams, owner of Auto Art on the Hill. If you own a classic car, Auto Art is your one-stop shop for repair, restoration, and maintenance. For over 35 years, we've helped car enthusiasts and collectors keep their vehicles looking great and running their best so they can drive them. We're also proud to be the home of the award-winning Throttle Squad Car Club. Our reputation as experts in classic car restoration has attracted car collectors from around the country. We work on full and partial restorations within your budget for any project, no matter how big or small. Restoration, collision care, and 50s Flair. Auto Art at 5305 Northrop Avenue on the Hill. Online at autoartstl.com.
Summer in St. Louis means oppressive heat and humidity. Now's the time to take advantage of Aldon Heating and Cooling's $79 AC check with a free home air quality snapshot. And summer is allergy season. Now's the time to take advantage of Aldon's $200 off an allergy relief package, which includes an air scrubber and filtration system. Book your appointment now as spaces are filling up fast. Certain restrictions apply. And for information on a state-of-the-art dike and fit system, visit al-don.com.
This is the Big 550, KTRS St. Louis, the station you have depended on for 3 decades. We are the talk of St. Louis.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Out of precaution, Taco Bell says it is voluntarily removing some ingredients from its menus at select locations as the CDC tracks a parasite infection across multiple states. Michigan remains at the center of the cyclosporiasis outbreak with more than 3,000 cases. ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton has more on state health officials' test results so far showing a possible link to lettuce or produce.
The preliminary results that we've gotten from Michigan, because they're dealing with the height of this outbreak. We also see referrals or notes from places like Taco Bell, for example. They've said that they're going to voluntarily and temporarily remove certain ingredients, but they also note that the Department of Health has not found a definitive link between any of their products and this outbreak. Also important to understand that in prior outbreaks, it usually is multiple different outbreaks at the same time.
A U.S. official confirming the U.S. military is conducting more airstrikes in Iran. Iran also launching its own strikes throughout the region. Escalations already being felt at the pump. Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan predicts prices in the U.S. will top $4 a gallon.
After 8 weeks of declining, we may see a multi-week upward trajectory after oil's big jump yesterday after new escalations in the strait between the U.S. and Iran. It likely will start to cost Americans more to fill up.
In Biddeford, Maine, the man fatally shot yesterday by federal agents during an immigration operation has been identified by Senator Angus King's office as Johann Sebastian Guerrero. Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen today directing law enforcement to temporarily halt vehicle stops in Maine and Texas following deadly shootings involving immigration officers. A bipartisan bill to make daylight saving time permanent nationwide passed the House today. The Sunshine Protection Act would bring an end to the twice-yearly changing of the clocks. States could opt out. It moves on to the Senate, but its fate is unknown. You're listening to ABC News.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand.
Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today.
An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
It is 91 degrees at the KTRS studios at Westport. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says 3 juvenile suspects have been charged in connection to the shooting death of a 16-year-old girl. The names of the suspects have not been released. One juvenile is still in custody, facing several charges, including involuntary manslaughter, armed criminal action, and abandonment of a corpse. The 2 other juveniles have been released after being charged with abandonment of a corpse. 16-year-old Gabriana Boyster was found shot at a home on Tower Road near Hillsborough on Saturday. Authorities believe she was killed on Friday. If your weekend agenda includes taking Metro Transit, those plans might need some tweaking. KTRS's Brendan Weesey has the details.
Metrolink trains will not be operational between Forest Park to Bolivar and the Grand Metrolink stations all day on Saturday, July 18th and Sunday, July 19th. The closures are to accommodate bridge maintenance work that will be ongoing. During these periods, Metrolink shuttles will transport riders by bus between the closed stations. Riders are encouraged to allow an extra 30 minutes to account for possible delays. I'm Brendan Weesey, KTRS News.
A local restaurant group plans to launch a new burger joint at the Wash Avenue Food Hall coming to downtown St. Louis. Steve's Smash Burger and Fries, a spin-off of Steve's Hot Dogs, will be a founding vendor at the food hall, which is expected to open later this year. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Taking a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow closed up 10 points to 52,508. The Nasdaq up 233 points at 26,107. The Nasdaq closed up 28 points to 75.43. Now for a look at sports and traffic, we check in with Paul Kopsky.
Vicky, baseball's All-Star Game takes center stage tonight in Philly. Jordan Walker, Riley O'Brien, and Ivan Herrera will be representing the Cardinals, along with manager Ali Marmol, who will be an assistant coach for the NL. And the MLS summer transfer window is officially open, as St. Louis City SC is yet to announce any additions during the World Cup break. City resumes league play at home Thursday night with Sporting KC. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. An accident on 70 West at 370 is causing a bumper-to-bumper jam back to 94. Estimated clearance time is 5:35. 64 West is heavy between Kings Highway and McCausland, and it's crawling from Prospect to I-70. 64 East bogs down at 170. 64 East is also crowded between Illinois 111 and 157, and 5570 East is congested from Illinois 111 to 157. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. If the severe storms have you saying, "Oh, hail," bring your car, truck, SUV, or van to Dents Express for a free hail damage repair evaluation. Dents Express will have your ride looking like new again, and they'll even take care of the insurance paperwork. That's Dents Express at dentsexpressstl.com. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 91 degrees at the KTRS studios at Westport, cooling off to 73 overnight. I'm Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News.
Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event. The Raceway features a full schedule on their drag strip, oval track, and gateway kartplex. For full schedule and ticket info, go online to www.raceway.com. The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to www.raceway.com.
That's www.raceway.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Maddie, previously known as Music at the Intersection, is just days away. Chris Hansen, Executive Director at the Kranzberg Arts Foundation, is with us with a rundown of all the fun to be had. Thanks for making time for us.
Oh, thanks for having me back, Heidi.
Absolutely. This is the sixth one, and I'm going to say bigger and better than ever. What are you most excited about?
Oh, man, I can't wait to see St. Louis and people from around the world out in the streets of the Grand Center Arts District, you know, inside of some of our most famous and cherished venues. It's a real celebration of St. Louis, our imprint on the artistic and musical legacy of the American Songbook and just cultural legacy of America. And we're just, in our 250th year, we're celebrating what makes St. Louis so unique. And music, art, culture, our community really stands out. And we're gonna celebrate this weekend as part of Maddie here in Midtown and Grand Center.
And remind me, how many stages, how many venues?
So we've got 5 main stages, which are where you need a pass, but we have over 15 different venues and stages and rooms activated across the whole district. This is bringing the neighborhood together, from the Fox Theater down to Urban Chestnut. We got our friends in Midtown from the Fountain on Locust, running food specials all weekend. The businesses are open. The streets are alive. You buy a pass to get into all the main stage stuff, but it's also a lot of free stuff you can do. You can come to a conference all day on Friday and Saturday, hear from thought leaders in business and different creative industries. We've even got a big podcast, live podcast and Q&A with Manny Fresh and Juvenile. Free block party all weekend, so you can come down and just walk the streets, enjoy national and local acts, performing arts, live visual art. It's a true multicultural, multidisciplinary event. All walks of life show up.
Yeah, and
generations of families.
Is there anything like this anywhere else? I mean, there's definitely music festivals, but to combine everything like you guys are combining, the block party and the conferences and the keynote speakers.
I mean, we look at ourselves, and if we want to model other great events that have really transformed cities, you could look at South by and what it did for Austin and how it has this layered approach to entertainment and professional development. You can look at New Orleans and how the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival really highlights their culture and their history, past, present, and future. And you could look at Memphis in May and how Memphis took a festival and rebuilt their urban core and realigned and healed racial divisions and built civic pride and brought their city back to life after Martin Luther King was passed. So, Maddie's a very special event. It's uniquely St. Louis. You can only find it here. The world notices it and recognizes it because St. Louis is truly a gem when it comes to music and art and culture, and they know us from all over the place, and you could only find this event here because no one else would have the reason to program it the way we do because they're not from St. Louis. So, it's got nationals, big living legends, always has rising stars, so the next great big giants get on our stages, and then always St. Louis connected artists. The majority of the acts that play the festival live here, work here, or connected. So when you support Maddie, you support the region, you support our local creative economy, and it's just a great way to have some fun in the middle of the summer. This is the first time we're doing it in July, and we're so excited, and it's a great celebration, and it's a great time to get out and just feel what it's like to be in St. Louis and live in St. Louis. What a great city.
And it starts off with a special concert. You guys haven't done that before, have you?
Yeah, we did the kickoff concert this year at the Fox Theater with John Baptiste, and we really wanted to have Baptiste this year. They wanted to be here, but we had to make the routing work. So instead of trying to have 4-day festival, we did the kickoff concert on Thursday with John Baptiste at the Fox Theater. Friday and Saturday, all day long, thought leaders, workshops, panels, clinics. Friday and Saturday night, 5 o'clock, the gates open. Come down, eat, shop. We've got 100-foot roller rink. You can watch theater and dance. You can see live art at work, go to exhibitions, tour the walls off Washington. Great music. DJ Spinderella, Grammy Award-winning Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Salt and Pepper. DJ Spinderella from Salt and Pepper will be there. But then you can also buy a pass and go to the Big Top, the Sovereign, the Jazz St. Louis, Sophie's Artist Lounge, and see world-renowned acts. And then on Sunday, we all take a day of rest. We have a special brunch on Sunday at Jazz St. Louis for a couple hundred people for the Brothers Lazaroff CD release, which is just a special ticket. But for the weekend pass holder, we all get dressed up and we go to the Fox Theater together for the finale that'll feature our artist in residence, Keon Harold, and Andra Day. If you remember Andra Day.
Oh, she's so good.
Actress,
I've seen
she's
her.
So good.
Yeah.
And then PJ Morton, and then into Wyclef Jean. And Wyclef, you were playing him when I came in. this is the 30-year anniversary of the score. The Fugees and Lauryn Hill made one of the most important records in pop culture and hip-hop culture, and so this is 30 years. So you're going to hear Wyclef go back through the catalog from his catalog in the Carnival, the Fugees, and everything they did with the score, all the way up to his new hits today. Plus, he always sprinkles in a little bit of Bob Marley and reggae. It's going to be a great way to just have fun, dance, and celebrate a beautiful weekend.
And there's so much more than the main stages, as you mentioned, but I'm always fascinated how a music festival gets booked in a summer where there's constantly other music festivals to compete with. How tough was it to make a call to Wyclef and figure it out with his schedule?
Well, we have great partners locally who help inform our booking process. I mean, this isn't done in a vacuum. We have steering committees. We have community partners. Lots of folks lean into this to give us that lens and ear to make it really great and something that connects with a wide variety of people. But also we have great relationships with the agencies and the management houses, record labels. They want to play here. They know this is uniquely different and special. And so the booking process starts a year out, right? So, when you finish these things, you're immediately, like I was on phone calls today about next year. So it's a long process. You have to build trust. You have to make sure that artists feel honored and celebrated. But once you can do that and they see the lineup they're playing with, they understand that this is a nonprofit, community-driven event that they want to show up and celebrate with us. When the big names come, when Gary Clark Jr. was walking around our footprint, he would say, I don't play festivals like this. I don't see this type of diversity, right? And they notice that they're celebrating something different than the fact that they're there. Because really what this is about is us all coming together. And so one of the great things that are always on stage are the people. And when you leave, that's what we talk the most about. We love all the music and the art, but what we love the most is being together and looking around and saying, man, this is what St. Louis is really like. And I think our festival is just uniquely positioned to tell that story. And, we've worked really hard to make sure that people feel included. And the artists feel that. The big artists feel that. They want to play it.
The schedule seems almost overwhelming. What's the best way for a fan who wants to be engaged to check out what's going on and be a part of it?
Definitely just discover, man. Get down here, download the app, look for the signage. We have maps and schedules all over the place. Just go and find new stuff. Go to the big things that you're going to want to see. There's not a bad note in the house. Support all the things. Make a plan. Get your friends together. All the information's out there. There's plenty of choices. So make it something that's easy for you to do, enjoyable, fun. See the stuff you want to see, but see the stuff you'd never heard of.
Yeah.
Because that's part of what we do is we put you in front of things that maybe you haven't heard that are incredible. And so I think just come down, discover Grand Center, discover St. Louis, and, just be part of the celebration.
Chris, we cannot thank you enough for joining us, but also for bringing this to the Grand Center for the 6th year. And, of course, you can learn more. You can get tickets. It's all at Matty, MATISTL.org. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much.
Maybe you head down there and you fall in love with a new artist, or maybe it's an old artist, and then you go to the St. Louis County Library and you find their biography and do a deep dive into how it all got started. St. Louis County Library has something for everyone. And maybe you go to Maddie over the weekend and you think, you know what? I saw an instrument I've never seen before, and I want to learn to play. And you could go to St. Louis County Library's Library of Things, which is a unique collection of non-traditional library items. And I'm talking about musical instruments or GoPro cameras or binoculars, even pickleball equipment. You'll find it all at St. Louis County Library. And then, of course, they have all kinds of fun author events. And every time we talk to an author, they always say that this is their best stop, that we have so many fantastic readers that are so involved. So St. Louis County Library, if you're looking for a list of things going on or things to do, because there's all kinds of story times, and there's the Emerson History and Genealogy Center, there's Teen Creative Lab, like I said, something for everyone, slcl.org.
Full disclosure, since you brought it up, I reached out to an author, got a fascinating book out. I'll tell you all about it in October. But I said, we really want to book her on the show. And when are you starting to book? We're in St. Louis. We got a partnership with the library. A lot of times really big name authors come to the library. And she said, well, how about that? She's coming in October. And so we'll just have her swing by the studio.
You're not going to tell us who it is?
No.
Do we know her name?
No. It's just a really fascinating book.
Can we learn about what?
The book's called Gouged. It's about how over the past 6 years we've been gouged on everything.
Isn't that the truth?
And she's done a lot of really interesting books in the past. So we will talk to her, but just another example of the library bringing the big names in town.
Can we have a heart-to-heart for a second? I feel like if you're an esthetician, I don't know why you wouldn't be applying for a job at the Only Facial right now. There are so many opportunities for advancement. Every manager and trainer within the organization of the Only Facial started as an esthetician, as a matter of fact. And I want to tell you this, you are not even responsible for selling products or memberships. Instead, what you're going to be doing is what you do best, delivering exceptional results with facials that are exhilarating and building meaningful relationships with your clients. At The Only Facial, they are deeply committed to ongoing education and professional development. You'll know what I'm talking about when you talk to these ladies. This company is growing. People are loving The Only Facial. And in fact, you can make your appointment online now. TheOnlyFacial.com. They're all over town.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Lauren, can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
If your parents were buying a home tomorrow, would you represent them any differently than one of your clients?
Not a chance. And when I say that, I mean, I treat my clients exactly like I'd treat my parents. Same honesty, same advice, same negotiation. Every client gets the same service.
Okay, second question. If one of your closest friends called you and said, I found a house, I'm in love with it, but you knew it was a bad decision, what would you do?
I've already done it before. I tell them no, don't buy it. My job isn't to sell people houses. It's to help them make good decisions. And sometimes that means they don't get to buy anything that day.
That's exactly why I've sent my friends and family to Lauren for years.
I mean, it's simple. Buying and selling a house, it's a big deal. And people deserve to have someone who's willing to tell them what they need to hear and not just what they want to hear.
Exactly. If you already know Lauren from listening every week, then you already know the kind of person she is. When it's time to make your move, give Lauren Risley Realty a call at 314-775-0684.
The Frank and Jill Show.
Hi, it's Jill Farmer. On the next Frank and Jill Show, Eric Schmidt, editor from St. Louis Magazine, with some hot headlines, particularly on the local business scene, and Heather Sullivan, the popular consumer reporter, with some news you can use from KMOV.
Frank Cusimano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon. Right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Josh, I pulled this story for you. One of the largest, most complete T-Rex fossils, which was discovered in South Dakota, is now going up for auction.
How much?
Well,
it's an auction.
The remains were discovered on a farm in South Dakota back in 2021. It took 3 years to excavate, and they described the incredible discovery and excavation process in Sotheby's news release, which it says it really does feel like tackling the world's hardest puzzle, except we have to find all the pieces first. All those bones separated for 67 million years that we can now almost magically fit back together. There's something deeply satisfying about that. Bidding open today, and the starting bid, $19 million. Mm-hmm. The auction house estimates the remains could sell for $20 to $30 million. Of course, we're talking about Gus, one of the largest and most complete T-Rex fossils. The skeleton is 38 feet long, 12 feet tall. Experts believe the dinosaur lived during the late, I won't say the period right, 67 million years ago.
Is it the one with a C?
Yeah. Is it Cretaceous?
Cretaceous?
Something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know who named it Gus.
Well, Sue is the name of the one in Chicago. So maybe they're just like, T-Rex, Rex, Sue, Gus.
Yeah.
Three-letter names? No?
Named after the owner of the ranch where it was found.
Okay.
Gary was the name of the property owner. And they
How do you get Gus out of Gary?
I think Gus was his nickname. Gary Gus Liking.
Okay.
Never had a chance to see the dinosaur fully assembled. He died while the dinosaur's remains were being discovered, but this is what is so crazy. And Bob, I know that you've traveled this. When we were in South Dakota and we were in the Badlands, we looked at each other and said, this seems like where dinosaurs roamed and like where the meteor hit. Because it was so, and then all of a sudden we go a little bit further and you start seeing all of these dinosaur fossils, dinosaur this, dinosaur that. But yeah, Gus is up for bids. He could be yours.
Not mine.
Well, probably not yours unless you win that lottery.
Only 12 feet tall. What did you say? 36 feet nose to tail, I think.
38, I think.
38.
Yeah.
But in Jurassic Park, they seem way bigger.
Uh-huh.
And remember when we had the bird guy in who was digging up, he said Scotland has tons of dinosaur fossils and how hard it was.
The bogs.
Yeah. How hard it is to piece them back together. Mm-hmm. He said, I was find out in my research that T-Rexes don't stand up. They're actually more horizontal.
And they use the tail for balance, that long tail.
They're horizontal. They're not vertical dinosaurs. So did you ever see that The Rock was getting a lot of flack online? Because he was in his office, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Okay.
And off in the corner, he has a giant T-Rex skull. And everybody online flipped out and said, oh, my gosh, did you really pay $20 million or whatever for a T-Rex skull? Because they said one went to auction, just the skull. And everyone was wondering. And he came out and said, this is a replica.
I was going to say a movie set piece.
I'm not going to spend. And what do you do with Gus?
What do you do
you
with?
Put them in your backyard, or do you give them to a museum and say on loan from the Gilbert family Foundation?
Put them in Newtown and charge everybody $1 to come see them.
And they can ride down the tail like in the Flintstones.
Yeah, there you have it.
And then one more thing about dinosaur skulls. Sue up at the museum of, is it the Field Museum?
I think so.
Field Museum in Chicago. They have her actual skull on the ground because there's no way
it could hold it.
It could hold it. So the one that's on the dinosaur when you walk in is made of plaster or styrofoam or something.
Yeah.
Where did Sue come from?
I don't know where Sue came from. Originally, but I know what I'll be doing when you talk to Captain Paul about traffic.
You'll be doing a little research. But first, before we get to Captain Paul, it is Christmas in July all month long here at the Big 550. Come out to the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday for a free showing of the Disney classic Cars. Who doesn't love that movie? There's going to be face painting. There's concessions. That all starts at 6. Then you got a pre-movie stage show at 7. The movie starts around 7:45. And please help families in need by bringing an unwrapped toy or a non-perishable item. The first 75 people to bring a toy will get a free ticket to Disney on Ice Presents Find Your Hero. That's going to be at Chaffetz Arena this September, and a specialty shake at the Soda Fountain. That's the free family movie night this Friday night at Westport Plaza, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. It is 5:31, and we need to get to Captain Paul, find out how traffic's doing.
Heidi, an accident on 70 West at 370 has been moved off to the shoulder with traffic still jammed back to 94. 64 West is heavy between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker, and from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to I-70. 64 East bogs down from 170 to Big Bend. 370 West is congested between St. Louis Mills and 141, and 64 East is slow between Illinois 111 and 157. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, crack research department.
Yes.
Which is me, sometimes Bob.
Josh Gilbert.
All right, Sue, the dinosaur at the Field Museum, was found in South Dakota.
Okay. Oh.
In the Black Hills.
Maybe she dated Gus.
Both went for it.
Named after Sue Hendrickson, the American explorer and fossil collector. They were leaving the area, calling it a day, and they got a flat tire.
No.
And
a tooth.
While people, that would be great. While people were going into town to get, the tire fixed and
They
everything.
just started doing a little digging?
She started walking around on some of the walls that weren't explored by them, and she started finding bone fragments.
No.
That's where the dinosaurs
Okay,
from.
that's just fate.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Dying to be discovered.
Yeah, they ran over her neck bone and
Oh.
popped the tire.
Ouch.
That's a better story.
Yeah.
Every great sports story starts somewhere. Maybe it's a game-winning goal on a Saturday morning, a breakaway with seconds left, the wins, the losses, the love of the game. Now those moments have a new home. The CarShield Sportsplex is bringing together youth soccer, youth hockey, and a place for athletes of all ages to play, compete, and grow. From first practices to championship dreams, the CarShield Sportsplex is built for the next generation of athletes. Visit CarShieldSportsplex.com for more information.
If it's time to replace your windows and doors, choose Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis. Pella's trusted local experts work in your area and within your budget, backed by the most preferred window and door brand by homeowners. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Study of homeowner perceptions of leading national brands. Study commissioned by Pella 2023.
Ask any designer, and they'll tell you lighting is key. It's Heidi, and you can completely transform your home with Nora Lighting, which is available at my go-to store, Metro Lighting. From recessed to under cabinet lighting, Nora helps brighten every corner beautifully. Visit Metro Lighting St. Louis area showrooms to explore all the Nora Lighting solutions, or check them out online at metrolightingcenters.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Jordan Walker went into the Cardinals history books last night. KTRS Sports Director Brendan Weesey joins us to talk sports. I mean, he was really the star of the home run derby.
Oh, absolutely. We wondered, I think, for someone thrust into the spotlight like this, really for the first time, how he would handle it. I think the home run derby for the first timers, it's always a little tricky. Find your rhythm, just be able to get, control your breathing and all of that. I think this new format was really, I think it really probably behooved some of the first timers, because you can go up there and it turned into a beat the clock the last few years and this is where, I think they mentioned it in the broadcast, you stopped being able to just appreciate the home runs the last few years because, there's one going, but here comes the next pitch while the other one's flying out.
You couldn't even take it in.
Exactly. So you could appreciate just the home runs and just some of the majestic shots that were hit throughout the course of the ball game. And I think Walker got his timing down, his swing when it is right. And we've seen it this year. We saw it last night. When he's right, it's a smooth, sweet swing.
Almost
gets through
effortless.
the zone, effortless style to it. And I mean, it just jumps off the bat. He's incredibly strong. But whatever he's done in the lab, so to speak, the last year to get him to this point, it's really remarkable. And
it's crazy. I've got a couple of fun facts.
Yeah.
2 of every 3 swings were homers. He hit 13 home runs on just 20 swings in the opening round. That's 65% of swings to earn the number 2 seed. I mean, that's just kind of crazy.
Yes.
5th youngest champion ever. He's only 24 years old. Then you've got, he doubled his season salary with this. I didn't realize he was just making right under $800,000, which sounds astronomical, but when you think of like J.J. Weatherholt's recent deal, you're like, wait a minute, what are we paying Walker?
Walker's next deal, you don't have to
feel sorry for him?
No, he'll be fine.
It's coming soon.
Yeah. He stunned the Philly crowd. I guess he's kind of now the villain of Philly.
Well, so first of all, I think now, and we've seen it a lot, that he leads the league in RBIs, which we talked about it last week, Heidi, and Rammer, you weren't here, but I think it's worth reiterating now. What he's shown, because RBIs in baseball, they don't get talked about like they used to. It's not as important a stat when you talk about the analytics. But I think for Walker, it is important, because this is a guy that has shown that everything he's dealt with mentally at the plate the last few years is that he is zoned in and that he comes up to the plate in big moments and delivers. The RBIs are indicative of that. And then last night, he hit 6 straight home runs to win it because his back was against the wall. If he had recorded an out anywhere in there, it's essentially
done.
It's
it was,
done.
It
It's
was
over.
It was over. He had to go on that streak to surpass the number that Schwarber posted, and it was to the point where he no longer had.
It was literally a
margin
walk-off
for error.
home run.
It absolutely was, and he started on that barrage, and you thought, okay, there's no way he's going to, because nobody else had done it all night. Those magenta balls, for whatever reason, maybe they weren't as visible, they weren't as easy to hit, and nobody else was going on those runs, one of the new wrinkles for the Derby. But he does it. He answers the bell again in the big moments. He is shown to be a guy that delivers when the lights are at their brightest, and I think for me, that's been the biggest takeaway for Jordan Walker here in the first half of 2026, as he has turned himself into a primetime player almost overnight.
And I think where it would be understandable if even more than casual fans into it, maybe overlook him a little bit, but not anymore.
Nope.
Between the drama of the hometown guy versus the young guy, I think that Walker made maybe a million fans. I mean, made fans all over the country. That he has now become a name that everyone will know that they didn't know before the contest.
I thought the Philly fans were a little, not bad taste, but they could have shown out. They just could have shown out better.
They were on point.
It's sort of their MO. But here's what I'm looking forward to. Now, because tonight, Walker is going to get booed so loudly in introductions. It's going to be great. He's going to take it all in. I think
said it's the biggest compliment.
Yes, it absolutely is. It's going to be so cool to see. It will be louder than any ovation tonight, and I think it's going to be awesome. And on top of that, because you remember the last Cardinal that was a villain in Philadelphia, I think was J.D. Drew. And it got so bad they threw batteries at him.
I was just going to say, at least the crowd last night didn't throw batteries.
Didn't throw batteries.
That's their history.
And I don't think that's going to happen. This is going to have a different feel than the J.D. Drew hatred. But I have a feeling a year from now, 5 years from now, maybe even 10 years from now, every time Walker comes to the plate in Philadelphia, he's going to get booed.
Yeah.
And the reason why is what he did last night.
Cards back in Philly, August 21st, 22nd, 23rd.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I think that part of it, the fact that the Philly fans reacted that way, again, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I will be a fan if they carry it forward in a good-natured way. That's what sports is all about.
I agree.
You mentioned the lab. Did anyone see what Barry Bonds looks like post-retirement?
The lab.
You know, off of the juice or whatever it was. He was,
I'll tell you this. I thought I actually thought the Netflix coverage last night was pretty good. I thought the conversations with Bonds and Pujols sitting together, I mean, these are two of the greatest hitters in the history of the sport. Give me more of those guys in game situations. I don't know if they're on tonight. I doubt they are. But I want to hear more of Albert and Bonds together because, I mean, those are two guys that between them have, almost 1,500 home runs between them.
That is crazy. I'll tell you what I want more of. Jordan Walker's parents going crazy as he hit that last home run.
So cool. The only folks in the entire ballpark that were on the field that were cheering him on, and deservedly so.
That's true. Let's talk a little World Cup, shall we?
Let's do it.
Oh, hang on for a second.
Okay.
That's a beautiful cue.
You may do that again.
3, 2, 1.
World Cup.
Winning goal for the USA. He has done it. What a goal.
It's time for a CarShield Sportsplex 2026 Summer of Soccer Update. Presented by Royal Banks of Missouri and Ragazzi's.
And Heidi, one half of that dance card for the finals on Sunday has been filled, and it's been filled by Spain. They blank France this afternoon. Kind of a surprise, I think.
And not really that exciting.
Not a terribly exciting game. I mean, really, obviously, incredibly high level. I don't want to say for sure. There was a really good chance this was the final today between these two. Whoever won it was going to take it down Sunday. We'll see. We've got Messi in Argentina and Harry Kane in England tomorrow, so they're going to have something to say about that. But you really felt these were going to be the top two teams, and yeah, it wasn't as exciting as some of the games we've seen so far in this tournament. But Spain is incredible. We'll talk much more about it tonight on the Big Sports Show. But our CarShield Sportsplex Summer of Soccer updates presented by Royal Banks of Missouri and Ragazzi's, also brought to you by HW, Kia, WS, Window and Door, STL Bartenders to Go, Fisher & Fritschel Homes, and Gingham's Restaurant on the Big 550.
This has been the CarShield Sportsplex 2026 Summer of Soccer Update on the Talk of St. Louis, the Big 550, KTRS.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Hi, I'm Robert Williams, owner of Auto Art on the Hill. If you own a classic car, Auto Art is your one-stop shop for repair, restoration, and maintenance. For over 35 years, we've helped car enthusiasts and collectors keep their vehicles looking great and running their best so they can drive them. We're also proud to be the home of the award-winning Throttle Squad Car Club. Trust your classic car's mechanical work to the experts at Auto Art. We offer a classic car care program that includes a free annual inspection plus exclusive discounts on any recommended services or repairs. All our work is guaranteed. Visit Auto Art at 5305 Northrop Avenue on the Hill. Online at autoartstl.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550, KTRS.
Well, let's talk a little entertainment news. Matt Damon says adapting an epic poem like the Odyssey into a movie is no easy task. He said this movie was by far the hardest movie to the most challenging movie he's ever been a part of. However, he says that all of those grueling days were well spent after he heard one of his daughter's reviews after seeing the film. He shared his, of course, 4 daughters with his wife, but he said one of them turned to him at the end of the movie and said, "Dad, I'm so proud of you."
Whoa.
Matt went on to say she's never said anything like that because we joke around all the time. So at that point, I was like, I'm good. I don't care what anybody else says.
Has she seen Good Will Hunting?
I don't know. Maybe she was too little to see it.
She didn't say anything about that.
Yeah. There's at least one icon that Mick Jagger never met. And to this day, he regrets it.
My friend sent me this morning.
All right, let me guess.
Yeah.
Elvis.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He was advised by John Lennon to never meet him, which, why?
Well, you know, the Beatles hung out with Elvis at his house in Hollywood, and it was apparently really kind of awkward.
It was very weird.
And nobody knew what to do and how to react to each other.
Too many egos in one room?
Well, I don't think it was
I mean, he's
kind
from
of negative. It's just that they were
so different. We got Mississippi,
Yes,
and you
he's
got
from Mississippi, and they're from Liverpool.
all these great stars, and well, okay, yeah, how you doing? Come on in. You know, I think they just had trouble relating.
You guys like peanut butter and bananas?
Well, and you know, the Beatles wrote everything. Elvis didn't write
he
anything.
didn't write
I mean,
songs.
he was a singer. So on the latest episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, Mick said, "I remember John telling me you should never meet your heroes. I would never meet Elvis, Mick, if I were you." And so I didn't. I took John's advice. It was really stupid of me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to have met Elvis. Maybe my Elvis version would have been different than John's.
Yeah.
Anyway, they met him in 65 at Elvis's Bel Air mansion, but he clearly came away from that meeting disappointed.
Yeah, everything I've read about it is just that it was awkward for everybody.
2 more of the Jolie Pitt kids are taking steps to remove the Pitt from their names. This time it's 24-year-old Maddox and 21-year-old Sahara.
Broken families are sad.
Oh, my gosh. Very. Jelly Roll keeps it real when he talks about his health journey. By the way, did you guys see he was at the Lake of the Ozarks?
I heard you telling that to someone, and I had no idea.
So I follow like a Lake of the Ozarks app, and he was on like a cliff about some woman was kind of scared to jump in, and he's giving her a pep talk, and then another one showed him at dog days, like are close. So I don't know
That's
what
hilarious.
he was doing there, but he talks about his health journey, especially his relationship with food, and he said, I'm sure you're familiar with the concept of a cheat meal when you take a break from your diet and eat whatever you want. Well, Jelly can't have one of those. He says the moment he lets himself have a treat, it could turn into a 5-day food bender, and it recently happened to him. He said, I've been overeating the last 3 or 4 days, and I was feeling myself stress eat. He said the addict came out in me, and he said, give yourself grace on those days you eat 4 skillet cookies. But he goes, I'm still doing it. The problem is it starts compounding over the days. It's okay to have a bad meal. It's okay to have a bad day. You just can't have 2 in a row.
Like an alcoholic.
Yeah, well, and he was a drug addict. It's the same thing. Anyway, let's do a couple of birthdays today.
How many you want here, guys? I got some good ones. How's your time?
Give me 3.
You got 3. Let's go with, all right, I'm going to give a layup to Heidi because she was perfect yesterday. She threw a no-hitter yesterday.
Feel
Country
pressure.
singer who won a Grammy for his hit In Color, Jamie Johnson.
Oh, Jamie Johnson.
I don't even know who this is.
He was at Winona's birthday party.
Wait, it was a layup.
The one at the farm that you went to?
No, that wasn't a birthday party. I wasn't invited to that birthday party. I'm going to say Jamie Johnson is 51.
I'll go 52.
Heidi, what did you say?
51.
Bang, she got it. 51.
I'm going to tell you,
well,
that,
she was at the birthday
that
party.
was pure luck. Pure luck.
I think this one's going to go Josh's way.
Okay.
Played Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street.
So creepy.
Rorschach in The Watchmen, but he's famous for Kelly Leak and Bad News Bears.
What about he was a cutter in Breaking Away?
Good call.
Yeah.
Jackie Earl Haley.
Is he 69?
67.
Nobody gets this one. 65.
Ooh.
He was a kid in the 70s.
He was. He was a kid in the 70s. And this one might swing back. The odds makers are saying a little more for Heidi because I know you're a fan. Glee Club's arch nemesis, Sue Sylvester in Glee. Celebrity Game Night.
Yeah.
Or Celebrity Game Show, Hollywood Game Night. Jane Lynch. Great comedian.
Does she do The Weakest Link, the American version?
She did, yes.
Yeah.
Let's say she's 65.
She's 69.
She's 66. Heidi gets it, and another victory for Heidi Glaus.
Yeah, 2 for 2. That is your evening entertainment report. It's about 7 minutes before 6. Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Heidi, no accidents, but 64 West is crowded between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker. Also from 170 to McKnight and between Lake St. Louis Boulevard and I-70. 64 East bogs down around 170, and 370 West is congested between St. Louis Mills and 141. This traffic report is brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Get your tickets now for Stages St. Louis. Take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls, which runs through August 23rd. Then Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call 314-821-2407 or visit stagesstlouis.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
You know, we talk about the treasures that we have in St. Louis. We were just talking to Chris Hansen about Maddie Music at the Intersection that highlights the culture and the music. You've got Forest Park, you've got Grand Center, you've got, Busch Stadium, which is also the architecture, but we also have Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. But when you really talk to somebody that is in that world or has had to have any kind of surgery or kids have had any kind of special care, they know how truly special Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital is and all of the other outreach programs that they do. And what's so cool about it is they're constantly adding program enhancements and facility updates. But the thing that always sticks out to me is the charity care. They are never going to turn a child away. And there's so many other places to do big advertisements and campaigns about donations. And I never see that from Cardinal Glennon. I just know that they never turn a child away. And that is so important. You can actually read some of the fantastic stories of kids overcoming incredible odds, or maybe it's a doctor or nurse who has done something that's never been done before. You can also make a donation if you wish. Glennon.org.
As we enter into the summer months, you might be thinking windows and doors. Yeah, and where are you going to go? You have lots of options when it comes to windows and doors. Let me tell you about a St. Louis company that everybody should know about. It's called WSWindow.net. It's run by Larry Thornton and his son, Joe. And they've been selling windows and doors in St. Louis for 38 years. They do most of their work with a handshake and a smile. There is no high-pressure sales. There is no jacking up the prices and then try and bring you down as they demand some type of signature on the dotted line. They'll shake your hand and say, we hope to hear from you. And they have been successful. They've beat the big boys at their games for all these many years because they do it right. They have long-time installers, long-time employees. The Window Store. If you need windows, if you need doors, you want a great price, and you want to keep it in the St. Louis family. That's Larry and Joe Thornton. The Window Store. WSWindow.net. WSWindow.net.
Let's face it, most people are not thinking about planning a funeral, but planning ahead can bring you significant savings by locking in today's prices. Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens in Fairview Heights is part of Dignity Memorial. They've been an essential part of the community for generations and believe a funeral service or cremation memorial should be as unique as the person it honors. Receive low interest options on prepaid cremation property and burial plans and up to 10% off cemetery property and funeral plans. Experience the dignity difference. Call Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens at 618-233-7200 to schedule a pre-planning appointment. Online at dignitymemorial.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
You guys, no time for randoms. We got to get out of here, but we do appreciate you hanging out with us. Hopefully you had as much fun as we did, and hopefully you'll meet us starting at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
St. Louis is a small town, and we all know it, especially Indoor Comfort Team. Since their beginning in 1979, Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning has served their neighbors with old-school honesty and integrity, fair and common-sense pricing, and fast, reliable service with real human support. When you call them, whether you need a second opinion or a whole new HVAC system, you'll get a real human being on the other line. No AI, no robot answering machines. From HVAC installation to repairs, even water heaters, Indoor Comfort Team will take care of you. And with summer already upon us, maybe it's time to get that air conditioner checked. Indoor Comfort Team takes care of our community because they're a part of it. Check them out today at indoorcomfortteam.com
or call 314-894-8200.
Don't miss the summer sale going on all month long at Appliance Discounters. Come in today and save, and they'll deliver it tomorrow. Savings up to 60% off select models. In addition to their sales prices, Appliance Discounters is having huge factory rebates on select models. They have a 50,000 square foot warehouse full of savings. Just come by one of their 6 showrooms, and they'll show you why they're called the Appliance Discounters. Appliance Discounters with 6 locations or online at theappliancediscounters.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the only station in the STL that has been